So, like, of all the bullshit characters that I prop to the forefront, which one do you think is my channel mascot?
Oh, if I wanted, like, an honest answer, you know what? Weirdly, Glass Joe.
That's the forefront. That's the one that pops into my mind, because that's the main one. But then it's like, for the vibe, I'm like, is it Void? Is it Bluster Kong? Is it Sukapon?
Like bias from like what I've worked on, I really want to say Goro Akechi. I feel like that fits.
I wish. Oh my god. Everyone listening to this, watch my Akechi video. If you've already watched it, do it again. I want that video to do so well. Oh my god. That and the Captain Falcon one are two of my absolute favorites I've ever done.
Mine too, and I'm not just saying that because I edited the Goro Akechi one. I'm still so proud of just like that transition, just like rapidly going between the different costumes. That was so fun to make.
It's such a good one. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah. Vote in the comments about which mascot is designing fours.
Tell me who should be on a shirt, but not the character, just like resembling them. Would you buy a Sukapon Joy Mech Fight shirt for me?
You could probably get away with copyright stuff with Sukapon.
I probably could. Oh god, it might be him. Just like change it enough, make him like blue.
It's Blue Capon. Completely different. OC.
Yeah. Just like see if I can get like a one-day shirt on the Yeti. It's just Sukapon, it just says design.
I'm already feeling those loading bars in my head. This is gonna be fun.
No, I know. Anyway, congratulations on Mithra being your channel mascot, though. That's a real good one.
Oh, no, you can't say that. You bastard.
What? Are you not the tsundere of the podcast?
I mean, I am. I'm not even gonna deny that, but like, I feel like I've tied my brand enough to Cuphead. Like, there's been a conscious effort here, man.
Well, it can be like pork rind dressed as Mithra.
Oh god, I would actually love that.
Anyway, folks, welcome to Design Dorks Gaiden. We talk about video games and stuff. I am one of your hosts, the ever sleep-deprived Pyrr Kong of Designing 4, and with me, as always,
the Duke of Dorks, who's taking way too much melatonin and is on the other end of that spectrum.
Oh, gosh.
One of these days, we're gonna have like a healthy living schedule, but it is not this day.
Someday we're going to not complain about how tired we are, and that's not going to be like this year.
Not this year. I need to live somewhere that's not as hot before that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I need to live somewhere, like, reliably. That'd be nice. Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. This is like the semi-drunk episode here. Like, we don't have any alcohol in our system, but like, this is gonna be a weird one, folks.
Yeah, I'm going in and out of states of... I'm just coming off of finishing up the Diddy Kong episode and going all night on it. You know, I'm clinging on. I still have ideas in my head. Like, I'm at that point where I can do this. I can do this. This is my thing. Look at my giant thing. I can do it.
Endlessly repeats that process, but it's just hits such a reputation that you're not actually doing anything more. You're just going through the motions.
Precisely.
Yeah, I feel ya.
I have had so many burritos over the past few days. Because they're so easy to pick up and I like them every time.
Oh, I feel that there's what is it, Poke de Polo right next to me. Just get a bowl of burrito stuff with some like corn chips that you just dip into it.
Nah, just the burrito. You gotta be able to not think about it. You gotta just be able to shove it into your mouth.
You know what? Fair. That's very fair.
Like, I don't want to have to maneuver anything. I want to watch whatever I have on the background with YouTube on, and I want to be able to browse Twitter at the same time while eating the burrito.
Yeah, it just kind of that kind of open your mouth to the side sort of thing while you're reading whatever you're reading.
Exactly. God help me if I ever leave Southern California. I don't think I could live without a shrimp burrito.
I'm sure you can find them in other places.
Not good. Have you ever tried, like, Midwestern or middle of the country seafood? It's not good.
Yeah,
you probably live there.
What? Fair. No, I do live there, and it is not good.
I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, there's a void there, because after 2 or 3 times,
I assume
you just
so.
I
don't want to go there. I have joy in my heart right now that will be deprived if I ever move further away from a coastline. Anyway, Rool Watch.
That's right, it's King K. Rool!
I am pleased to report that on the Duke of Dorks channel,
No,
the words K. Rool were said
that does
unprompted
not count.
by me.
That does not count in the slightest. The bet is still
The
going.
conditions were that he is relevant.
I mean,
Relevancy is a matter of perspective.
I am not relevant. Peasant's perspective is not relevant.
You're relevant to you.
Well, if it's a relevancy is based off of personal relevancy, then K-Rool's always been relevant.
Exactly. It was a fool's gambit the entire time. I tricked you. You've been painting the fence while I've been going down the river with Huckleberry Finn for years now.
You know, I will concede, but the bet's still going.
You're correct. Anyway, K-Rool isn't in anything, but, we're getting to that point where people are willing a Nintendo Direct into existence.
I feel like if there's not one there's gotta be one this month, right?
Yes, because people are too tired to not have one.
Like, what's on the horizon for Nintendo? Bayonetta 3's not next month, month after. Splatoon 3's coming out September, and then Breath of the Wild in the future, and that's kind of it?
No, they have Pokemon.
Oh, right, Pokemon. I like that, but that's Pokemon.
Yeah. Pokemon feels like it's in its own little world. And eventually, Advance Wars.
At some point, I feel so bad for the developers of that game.
Oh gosh, I know.
Just imagine, like, putting all your heart and soul into this, and just being, literally, the world says no.
I hope that game actually comes out.
I mean, at some point, you have to.
You say that, but have you seen WB lately?
You know, fair. Join the ranks of Batgirl and just this perpetual void of, this is done. Do you want to, like, release it? All the money we spent on it? Nah.
That's such a fascinating situation. It's not even that it's released, it's just that it's gone.
Do you just delete the hard drive? What do you do at that point?
Yes. Yes, they did.
I wish I had that much money to just throw around, being like, oh, nah, we don't need this anymore.
Gosh, I know.
Anyway, what you been playing in the month of August?
I've been playing a bunch of junk. Some nice little things. Let me remind myself of what I've been playing first. Quick little one. I played Donkey Kong Jr., the 1982, that's the year, 1982 seminal arcade classic. And this game's some bullshit, but I kind of respect it. I have never had a game that gave me such acute anxiety as this one. Like, it is amazing how limited in its scope it is, and how much it can make me feel uncomfortable. Donkey Kong Jr. is essentially an expansion of the original Donkey Kong. You take Mario's more lateral movement and you make his vertical movement more of the focus. The first level is avoiding one kind of trap that comes down at you at random intervals down certain vertical shafts. One of the levels is the forgettable one, which has consistent movement where you just wait for your opportunity to go up. One of the levels is mostly a platforming challenge, but there's one obstacle at the very end that will kill you. And one of them is you go around the entire stage and you get all of the collectibles so that the boss does the fall and dies. In a lot of ways, it's a direct expansion of Donkey Kong. But that last one is so anxiety-inducing because Junior is weird because he climbs up a single rope, incredibly slowly, but if he double fists the ropes, he goes up really fast, but that leaves him more vulnerable. Meanwhile, he goes down ropes double fisting very slowly, but if he goes down on a single rope, he just shoots down. So you have this interesting dynamic of vulnerability and potential progression, because obviously you want to get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But then it combines that with the last stage is you have to get, I believe, 6 keys from the bottom to the top on a bunch of vertical ropes, and there are up to 5 little snapjaws that constantly go down one of those ropes randomly. So they're all randomly doing that. Meanwhile, birds are coming down at regular intervals doing horizontal passes through the screen. So you have them coming down. Usually they'll be 2 at a time, so it's staggered awkwardly. They have certain positions, like they'll always go down, like I believe 4 bird units, but it's hard to tell what the fuck a bird unit is.
I was about to ask.
So you kind of have to eyeball it, and your eyeballing doesn't really make sense, and some of the keys are at the very edges of the screen, so you just kind of have to hope that the birds aren't coming down. Meanwhile, you're navigating which ropes the different snapjaws are going up and down, as they're all going up and down at different rates, while more birds are coming down, and you only have 2 fruits that can eliminate enemies. And the only ones that you can eliminate permanently are the snapjaws, but they have to be below it, so you have to position yourself in order to get them before they get back up and they can't get hit by the fruits again.
Okay, well, you're starting to give me anxiety now.
Meanwhile, you're maneuvering the keys, and sometimes there's too many snapjaws for the keys to get up or down, so you have to move to another set of keys, but you have to make sure those keys aren't being guarded by the birds so they continue going down. And also, there's a time limit.
Wow.
And, like, there's no safe zone. You just have to constantly maneuver your safe zone, but you can't stay in one space too much. And it is the most anxiety I have felt in, like, a 1.5 minute challenge that I can imagine. Yeah. And then I played the NES version, and, like, it's super easy. Like, it's the same game.
Interesting.
They're
Why?
They're just so slow and easy. And for some reason, the US version of the game doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes, okay, stage 1, then stage 4, then stage 1, then stage 2, then stage 4, then stage 1, then stage 3, then stage 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4.
What on earth?
So you get the 4th stage and the 1st stage start getting excessively hard, while the middle stages are like, oh, that's a fair challenge, I guess. But you also don't ever get the 2nd and 3rd stage on their easiest. You get them at their level 2 or level 3 variations.
Huh.
And it's a weird game, and it was a pain in the ass to get footage of stage 3.
Yeah, those old games, man, they pull no punches. It's like right when everyone's still just figuring out the medium.
But I still love Donkey Kong. I still think that has a really fair and really solid difficulty curve. This just kicks my ass. That's basically it. I just wanted to whine. Let's see, what's next? Also played a game called Slay the Princess. And this is a Steam visual novel. Currently, it only has a demo. It's going for a release in 2023. It's one of those progressional sort of visual novels where, like, you play it so that you can get the different endings to it. It's like a Stanley Parable in that sense.
Okay,
and
okay.
It's very similar in, like, there's a narrator, and there is the hero, and there is a princess. And the conceit is that the narrator is telling you have to kill the princess because she will end the world. And she's just a girl locked in a cabin. And you have no other conceit other than to trust the narrator or trust the princess. And the hero is actually a separate character from the player, who is debating, like, should I really do this? I don't know. It's strange. And will change his personality informed by the player's decisions, but still has an active rapport with the player.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's got a really nice, interesting, very sketchy art style to it, and the whole thing of this game, and whether you'll like it or not, is that it's narrated by Jonathan Sims, the gentleman who's the archivist from the Magnus Archives horror podcast. So it has a lot of those vibes of just, if you really like someone explaining to you the way that human flesh can twist in a very somewhat disinterested but somewhat grandiose tone, if you like the exploration of what the destruction of your body and concepts of reality can do to your psyche, then this is a good game. Because, just to spoil a demo, it's a time loop game, and when you go back, your hero has a new voice in his head depending on your actions. And they're all voiced by Sims. So it's all different aspects that you're bringing out, and your perception of the princess changes based on your interaction with her in the first loop. And that's basically all it is at this point. It's just, you do the first loop, you make your decision, and you see the result of it, and you hit a to be continued. It's one of those fun ones to dive into, and is interesting enough that I just want to put it on people's radars.
Yeah, I googled some images, and that is... I can see why Sims is voicing this.
Yeah, it does a really good job. As someone who loves voice acting way too much, this gives me what I want in the, ooh, I like the character read. Ooh, I like the way that you slightly adjust the voice to change the way your character perceives the world. And like, I'm a big fan of games like Princess Maker and Long Live the Queen, and this itches that same sort of scratch for me. So, yeah, check it out if you feel like it.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see. For shorter ones, I also played, because I have to play Kirby games, I played Kirby's Dream Buffet.
How was that? I never got around to that one.
It makes me very happy.
Excellent.
It is a very, very cute and fun Kirby game. It runs out of content really, really quick insofar as the different levels go, but it's a fun sort of take, because I'm sure that you've heard it described as like Fall Guys but Kirby.
Yeah. But
it is not elimination-based. It is based on how much food you can eat, similar to Gourmet Race. And similar to Gourmet Race, the faster you finish the level, the bigger a bonus that you get. And then you fight each other at the end with various Kirby powers in your ball form to steal food from each other's stomachs, I guess.
Sure.
And then at the end of that is how you get your results. And the fun thing about it is that it has Mario Party bonus stars.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it has 3 randomized bonus stars at the end, so it can be like, who ate the most cherries? Who ate the most raspberries? Because usually the picks are strawberries, but sometimes you have specialty fruit that's scattered around the different race courses, or you'll have different objectives like, who fell off the course the most and spent the most time hovering? And of course, you hover longer, the less fat you are. So you can intentionally, if you're like going to get second or third place, sandbag your time by hovering off the stage in hopes that you'll get that bonus star, because they're substantial enough that they can and will swing games.
I was not expecting it to have that much depth. Cool.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting time where if you're really behind in races, you can always have this sort of comeback mechanic, this sort of banking on thing, this sort of, okay, I can't win, but if it rolls blueberries, I got that for real though. Because it's separated into race, minigame, race, battle, and it's like, who collected the most strawberries in races? Who collected the most in minigames? That sort of thing. So if you do really, really well at one individual part of it, you're still in it, even if you totally fail at the Battle Royale at the end. Really fun game, really colorful. It lovingly renders food. Like, it makes you hungry in the best of ways. And it does the usual great Kirby fan service thing. It constantly levels you up, so you're getting new accessories, like different colors for Kirby that associate with different characters. You would love this. It has Adeline's hat.
Yes!
But not only does it have Adeline's hat, but if you unlock it, you also get a tiny ribbon that peeks out from behind your back.
Oh!
They have a tiny Elflin, they have Marks, who I got, and I'm like, I beat the game. They have a Waddle Doo eyeball that covers Kirby's entire face, and combining that with the Adeline flesh color is really, really disturbing.
Oh god.
I don't like naked Doo.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Okay.
Or fleshy gooey.
Fleshy gooey.
It does great pulls for the music. It does some remixes from Pinball Land and Block Ball.
Interesting, alright.
I know, it does some great pulls. There's an Alive Mall remix, of course, and that's great. It feels good listening to this music again. It knows what to celebrate. It knows that Kirby is celebratory, and it does a great job with it. It's not gonna last ya more than like 5 or 6 hours, but it's a great time. It's fun with friends, and if Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl can get away with $50, this could get away with $15. I got about the same amount of hours of enjoyment out of each.
Alright. I don't know if I'm definitely going to pick it up. I'll definitely listen to the soundtrack. I've been meaning to do that for ages, because like every single Kirby game always has that's just the best remixes.
Oh god, I know. Like when you dive into Rainbow Curse's remix section, it's so good.
How is it? And that's just there for the sake of it.
I know.
It's so good.
Incredible. All right, and the last shorter form game that I played this month is Diddy Kong Pilot. Now, you may be asking yourself, Pyrr, that's a game that doesn't exist. And I would say to you, that's true. However, the 2003 ROM of Diddy Kong Pilot is like 90% complete and is basically just an early version of Banjo Pilot. So I played through that almost to completion.
Nice. Is it better or worse than Banjo Pilot?
It is better because Banjo has its goofy voice clips, like the Banjo whoa, or in the Banjo ha, rah rah rah. But I am going to link you to the Diddy Kong Pilot voices because this is just late 90s, early 2000s Rare doing nearly complete sentences with characters that really shouldn't have them. And just listening to the insanity that is eloquent Donkey Kong and Southern Critter.
Wait a minute.
You know it, I'm not done. Yeah, first place.
Why is Donkey Kong an orc from Warcraft 2?
Uh-oh.
That's just Grant Kirkhope. He's just going off.
Sorry, friend.
This is my favorite cast of voices, and just play him in the background as much as you want during this section. I don't care. They never shut up. Like, every single time that they hit someone, every single time that they pass you, every time that you do anything with one of these characters, these voice lines are spouting off constantly.
Here I go! I'll catch up!
And like,
Why is Diddy Mickey Mouse?
Oh, shucks!
Time to go! I'm a winner! Aw.
Oh god, Dixie's terrifying.
I'm the best.
Oh yeah, oh, Dixie is horrible.
That is a possessed doll in a horror movie.
That's okay.
Yep, it sure is. Anyway, the actual game itself is like very functional for the Game Boy Advance. This game had a tremendously troubled history, you know, with the Rare buyout happening. Originally, it had Mario characters in it. K. Rool used to have a pilot outfit. At one point, he was going to race Cranky to see who could discover the lost city of El Dorado first.
Okay.
This game is just Cranky Kong going, Kongs are better than Kremlings. And Kremlings going, no. The fun thing about this is that when you beat the 4 cups as the Kongs, you unlock all the Kremlings. And it's just Cranky shit-talking the Kremlings, saying that they can't beat them. And every time they do, he's like, okay, you can't possibly do it 3 more times. And then when you beat the game as the Kremlings, the title screen changes so that it is now Krem Pilot.
Interesting.
And then, if you beat all of Cranky Kong's challenges, you unlock the Cranky Kong Cup. And if you beat the game as Cranky Kong, it turns into Cranky Kong Pilot. And your only reward is that you know that Cranky is the best.
I mean, that's all the only reward you really need in life, right?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is a clunky game. Most of its theming went right onto Banjo Pilot, and it works way better as a Donkey Kong theming. Like, that sound that sounds like the DK Island Swing at a faster tempo makes a lot more sense in DK than it does in Banjo. Because the music was already done. They couldn't change any of that. There are interesting ideas in here, like you have a pop gun at all times that kind of sort of slows opponents down, but not really. But there are balloons on each stage, and if you shoot the balloon, it activates one-time zipper boost pads, but you have to hit them in sequence, otherwise they disappear. And at one point there's a tricky balloon that moves back and forth, and if you shoot it, you go through a gold zipper that basically acts as a one-lap on-command bullet bill, but you have to be skilled enough to use it.
Okay, interesting.
It's got some ideas. It's playable by Game Boy Advance standards, but by that I mean it's still not very good. Of Game Boy Advance kart racing games, that still puts it in the upper half. Like, you can see how they had ideas for this and tried to make it work, and it didn't. But, like, gosh, they tried, and it's this weird it's almost proud to be a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, but also is like trying to shy away from it in certain areas to celebrate Donkey Kong more. But at the same time, it doesn't want to. There's this weird dragon who shows up, and he's like in no Donkey Kong game, but he's just there. The theming is very, very loose. But like, yeah, if you want to hear these voice lines ad nauseum, they never stop being funny.
Yeah, no, I can't get over stereotypical old black woman Cranky Kong.
Oh, yeah! Not a problem. Too easy.
New competition.
No competition.
I can't get over K. Rool's voice in this.
Whoa!
I don't know what he's going for.
Okay, then.
He's the very last one on the video.
This is it.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Wrong choice.
I don't know.
Put as much gravel into your voice as possible.
Let's
but
do
that's
it again. Yeah.
You're a really angry drill sergeant.
Yeah, but Clump is right there.
I know, that's what makes it weird.
All right, and that's everything I could do with like a quick once over. What have you been playing?
For the small ones, just a few tiny things. I had someone submit a Binding of Isaac idea to Peasant's Perspective, and that's a game that I've had in my library for years and years and years, so I decided that, you know what, let me just play a few runs of this so I can better understand the idea.
I have mixed opinions of this game. I'm so curious to see what you think.
Well, I didn't get very far into it, as Cult of the Lamb came out shortly afterwards, and that similar game, but just updated and just more my style, but I did really like what I played. I can see why it has the appeal it does. It's a solid bullet hell roguelike. I do feel like it's a little, how do I put this? Heavily simplified, I think, but that makes sense because it was like one of the original games that like kicked off the roguelike trend.
Yeah, popularized it. It's very like Newgroundsy, I feel.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like it does feel like I would be, if I booted up Armor Games or something, I just find this on the sidebar.
Yeah.
I do really love the theming of it. I always knew it had ties to like Christian mythology, but like characters named after the Bible peoples and all that. But the intro of all just Isaac's mom tries to be more faithful and isolates Isaac from everything that makes him happy. I was just like, okay, yeah, I can vibe with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had fun with it. I do think I enjoy like games like Enter the Gungeon more, but I can definitely respect this for being the thing that inspired all these other games that I enjoyed.
I feel like it's a game that tricks me into enjoying it. Like, I'll play a lot of it, but like, I won't actually feel happy playing it.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Whereas a game like, say, Hades or Gungeon, like, I'll get this mechanical oomph to me. For this, it feels like free loot boxes that I'm like, ooh, shiny, more please.
Yeah, I do feel like the combat is just, you just stare and shoot, and that's kind of it.
Like, I get that your tiers have a certain weight to them, and like, I understand I lost way too many hours into this game, but, I think it's a dangerous game. I think it's a, if you have a gambling addiction, no kind of game.
No, I can definitely feel that. I'm kind of glad that Cult of the Lamb came around to pull me out of it, because otherwise I don't think I would have gotten to many other games. I can
That's
start feeling the tug. Yeah, maybe I'll go back to it. I'm just kind of intimidated by it.
I get it.
Let's see, what else? Wasn't really me playing it, but I kind of want to tell the story regardless.
Go for it.
My brother has recently gotten really obsessed with Pokemon Go, and has been, like, demanding everybody else in the family play it so he can, like, trade and stuff.
I get that. My mom was the same way for a while.
Yeah, I can't really play it myself at all. My phone's doing this obnoxious thing where it only works as a phone if there's a Wi-Fi signal. So,
yep.
For a game that you have to go outside for,
yep,
not really possible to play.
I get you.
But I wanted to bring this up because he managed to get my dad equally obsessed with it. And there are few things more beautiful than seeing a 6'3", 50-year-old man happily gallivanting around a park, occasionally coming back to geek out about, oh, this thing's an Onyx, this is awesome, it's like a rock snake, cool! Just the 6-year-old joy of someone being introduced to Pokemon for the first time as a 50-year-old man. It's just been delightfully adorable.
I can't even imagine getting introduced to Pokemon as a full bestiary now.
Yeah, just all 8 generations, just like toss him into it. It's been fascinating just to see like which Pokemon he likes and dislikes.
Oh, I still have a great memory of Pokemon Go just barely coming out. And I was at a Mexican restaurant with my family, and they're like, oh, there's a Hitmonchan nearby. And Hitmonchan was my favorite as a kid. Like, I watched that punchy Pokemon episode of the anime over and over again. I thought it was so fun. And I was just like, okay, I'll get it. And I tossed the ball at it. I did a little curveball because I'm cool. And then I saw it click, and I audibly gasped. I was like, and like my family made fun of me for it, but they're like, no, he's so cute. It's so cute. I'm like, yeah, I like him. And it upsets me that people don't like Hitmonchan because they're like, oh, he's a weird man with boxing gloves. This is not a monster. Shut up. Of a cool man with boxing glove.
Yeah, of the humanoid Pokemon, he's like the best one.
I love the humanoid weirdos. Mr. Mime?
Mr. Mime's good, yeah.
Mr. Mime's great. Jinx is really fun to use. Don't talk about it, though.
I think when it tries to be both humanoid and animal, that's where it, like...
I still like Electabuzz.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's like a weird Dr. Seuss monster.
But when you get to, like, stuff like Score Bunny, like, no, thank you.
That I get, but, like... I feel like Hitmonchan isn't a Digimon.
Yes.
But I feel like Score Bunny is definitely a Digimon.
That's a really good way to put it. That just reminds me of memories. The first time I hatched a Scyther out of an egg, I thought I was never going to find one. One of my favorite Pokemon, dancing around the room. That was...
Oh, man. My first Pokemon game actually was Pokemon Pinball. So, slowly discovering Pokemon through that, and I have the distinct memory of Scyther because it's a one-stage Pokemon. You just get it randomly. It's not like it's an evolution stage where you expect it to get bigger. It's just going, what is that?
It's got blade arms. You cannot go wrong with blade arms.
The little Pokedex of the game calls it like a ninja. That's so cool. I love it. Now, first Pokemon memories are so cool.
Pokemon Go's giving me a really weird appreciation for, oh gosh, what's the name? Hariyama?
Hariyama.
Yeah, I found a shiny of one of those randomly, and it's weird how finding a shiny of a Pokemon just immediately launches it up like 400 places on your favorite Pokemon list.
That's true, but my first shiny ever was an Illumise, and I was like, oh.
I mean, my first ever was a Delibird.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah, you know what, fair. That Illumise, that almost feels like the game's mocking you.
I feel like she shot 400 down on my list, and there were only 300 Pokemon at the time or whatever.
That's good.
I demand your father's top 5 by the time of the next podcast.
I will ask. I'm going to write this down right now. I'm going to put it in the chat of our Discord conversation. Ask Dad top 5 Pokemon. I will remember now.
Okay, solid.
Cool. Then just one more small game. Every now and then, a bunch of my people in my family will hop into a shared Terraria server together, and that is such a good game for a group of players with varying skill levels. If someone like my father can't really keep up with boss battles, there's no problem with that at all. He enjoys organizing the base, so everything is easily findable, making it more aesthetically pleasing, or farming up materials to upgrade everyone else's materials. And thanks to the summoner class in that game, he can still contribute to boss battles just by summoning mobs and being present. It's a really... how do I put this? Would this fall under accessibility? Terraria is a weird game where boss fights can be as easy or as difficult as you want them to be, depending on how much time you're willing to spend building an arena to fight them in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, you could just summon it randomly and just try to platform around it, or you could just create this really intricate, goodness gracious.
You'll get there, don't worry.
Setup where you can, like, cheese some bosses. Like, if there's a worm that burrows out of the ground, you can just put a box, like, 30 tiles above the ground, and it just helplessly tries to jump up at you while you're just firing a gun at it.
As someone who's never played Terraria before, outside of, like, 30 minutes to go, nah, this ain't for me. It sounds like they have made the process of grinding for a boss into something fun and creative.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, yeah. Not to disrespect like the actual combat in the games, like some boss fights that are really, really challenging, and the platforming combat is really rewarding once you master it, because there's like a hook shot grapple in that game that you can use to kind of like avoid fall damage, quickly maneuver yourself around an arena.
That's always
really
the best power up. Like whenever that's good, that's always the best one.
Oh, for sure, and it is amazing in Terraria. And then that's all before you get into how, like, insane the modding scene is in that game. You can inject just, like, 4 more games worth of content into it from Calamity alone. The modding scene is so good that people know about Terraria Calamity just off of the soundtrack alone.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It's kind of a hard game to talk about because, it's extremely popular and it's been around for as long as it is. If it's your cup of tea, I think it's good in every single aspect. Like, I can't really criticize any of the design choices of the game. Surprise, surprise, the 11-year-old game that was updated for all of those 11 years, with mods that have been updated for years, is really polished.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I'm kind of curious, what turned you away from it?
Just the slow feel of movement and just, I don't know, the explore anywhere kind of games have never appealed to me. Minecraft didn't hook me. Just in general, if your appeal is how open your world is and discovering it, it is more likely to lose me than a focused experience where you are giving me challenges to constantly upgrade my skill, as opposed to me having to discover those challenges on my own. For whatever reason, that just is instilled in me through like years and years of platformers that have done that. And just having that incremental challenge. I'm a person who likes to have a sense of mastery and have an endpoint for their games. I like to feel like I've reached this mountain, and this mountain is one that I didn't have to make for myself.
That's interesting, because like I actually originally bounced off Terraria for the same reason. Like I just saw it in Minecraft, tried to play Minecraft, didn't enjoy it. Saw Terraria, tried to play it for a bit, and bounced off it for the same reason. Mm-hmm. But I actually went back to it because my brother really wanted to try it. That game actually does have that. Like, it has that steady progression, it has an endpoint in the game. It just takes... You almost need, like, someone playing it with you that knows the route through it. Because, like, yeah, it's very slow getting around at first, but part of the progression in the game is finding things that make that progression faster and faster and faster and faster. So the world constantly shrinks the further you get through the game.
Right.
Like, movement is slow, but then you find speed boots, which obviously, like Hermes Pegasus boots from Legend of Zelda. And you find wings, which make it even faster. You find mounts, which makes it even faster. You find better and better drills, which makes you tunnel through the earth even faster. Like, Terraria definitely does have that element of you kind of have to make... It's in an odd sweet spot where you can make the mountain that you climb, but you also can just very much ignore that and just throw caution to the wind.
Mm-hmm.
I might recommend trying it again and just, like, finding a guide to get, like, through the first 2 boss battles. And if that doesn't hook you, you're probably not going to get through it. But once you actually start, like, feeling the progression system of what each boss, like, defeating each boss unlocks throughout the world, like, it's the kind of game where the overworld itself will actually change and unlock new areas depending on which boss you beat. Like, you'll find a dungeon that if you try to go into it, it'll instantly just kill you until you beat the boss that's guarding it at the top, that sort of thing.
I can understand that. My issue is that if I want that, I kind of want to play Elden Ring first.
You know what? Fair. It's a very similar kind of appeal in that way.
Yeah, and I feel like that lore hook for me is enough to get me through that more than the promise of gameplay, so to speak.
You know what? Calamity actually adds a lore hook.
Okay. Do I have to get through regular Terraria to get to it?
Nope. Calamity is built seamlessly into the game to a point that you can... Well, you can tell that it's been added to it, but... Like, it's almost like they just layered itself on top of the game, and then extended, like, the post-game out into, an entirely new, separate third act of the game.
Okay.
If you do ever want to play it, though, wait until they figure out how to put the thorium mod onto it, too. Those are the 2 best ones.
Got it.
But yeah, if it clicks, that's 5 games worth of content right there for you. I think it's my most played Steam game.
Oh, I can believe it. God, I checked my most played Steam game. It's fucking Paladins. I don't even know how.
Really? Paladins?
Yeah. I don't know how it beat TF2, but it did. I don't even remember playing it, most of it.
It is one of those kinds of games. Like, if I re-downloaded Overwatch, I'm sure I'd have a ton of hours into that. It's the kind of game that you can easily lose track of how many matches you're playing. Just that kind of team-focused format.
Yes, you're very, very right.
TF2, how?
I can tell you, there's this one champion, and his ultimate is that he fires something called the Hyper Beam, and it does only chip damage, but it has massive pushback, so you just point at someone, and they ragdoll off of the map into a pit.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
that was the most
Lucio.
fun gun.
I get that.
And he's the tank that gives other people shields. So it's like you just stick around and then you get to go push and they die. But it's like a full 5-second beam, so you could just pin someone against a wall high up at the very top of the map and then whoop right to the left and they fall into a pit. Oh my god. Torvald was so much fun.
There's few things more fun than environmental kills.
Yes.
In video games. Just out of curiosity, I did check. My most played is Age of Empires 2. I should have known that.
Uh-huh.
But Terraria is second.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Anyway, solid game. Enjoying it a lot. It's a great game to play with other people.
Nice.
What else you been playing?
So, I played through Donkey Kong Country 3.
Again?
Yes. Viewers will be like, Pyrr, you played it this year. It was the first episode of the podcast. You played it. And I went, yes. However, this time, I decided, okay, I'm going to get this monkey off my back. I'm going to do something that I have never done before, and that is doing a toughest playthrough, which is you enter the code TUFST as your name, and what that does is, in every single level, you start with Dixie and Kitty, no DK barrels, no checkpoint barrels.
Oh, okay. So if you lose one, your progression's stunted.
Yes, you cannot get bonuses. I then got all the bonuses. I then beat the game in under the Cranky Kong time, which is 5 hours and 15 minutes. This gives you 105% completion and the rank of Immortal Monkey, which gives you a custom sprite of Cranky doing Kung Fu. And I have to say, when I am having to rush through Donkey Kong Country 3, think out all of my moves and not just damage boost through obstacles, it's an incredible game. Like, one of my biggest issues with DKC3 is taking things obstacle by obstacle. It's very much you have the time to slow down and try to figure out what you're going to do next and adjust, and whenever you can't do that in levels like Coin Dozer Clamber or Lightning Lookout or the Toboggan levels, then you get walled by them hard, because you're used to being able to assess the situation. With me constantly on a time limit and unable to make mistakes, because, like, think about that level where the fish is following you through all of it, where you have to feed him. There's a coin at the end that you need the team toss for. If you get hit at any point, you can't get him. So figuring out how to do that, having that constant pressure, turns that fish from an occasional inconvenience into the most constant, terrifying noose that is slightly tightening around your neck the entire time. And it's great.
Nice.
You get a better appreciation for Dixie and Kitty's abilities, by which I mean, fuck, why is Kitty so fat? Oh my god, there's a level we didn't get to where there are two Kremlings that hop over each other, and their hitboxes are the most bullshit thing in the world. I hate Cuff and Clout so much. And just, it is incredible how expressive and fluid of a game Donkey Kong Country 3 is when you have to take it to that sort of DKC2 level, because when we played through ZKC2, a lot of it feels like the levels are much shorter and you take less time because you have to weave through them all in one run. The obstacles aren't so much individualized and start and stop as DKC3 as they are, you have to do it cleanly because otherwise the enemies get off sync, and taking them off tempo is more difficult than doing one clean run through. That's why when you get good at the game, you just blaze through levels in the stream of consciousness. Fucking love Donkey Kong Country 2, by the way. Great game. DKC3 has that. You just really have to push yourself to get through it. You really have to be able to figure out what to do and where to go. But once you get to that level, once you're forced to get to that level, but still have to have the hesitation of, don't get hit by that. It's so good. I'm so glad I went back and played it because I have a much higher opinion of DKC3 than I did just a couple months ago.
Nice. It's fascinating how adding those little challenge runs can make a game so much more expansive. Like doing things like Nuzlockes or an XCOM Iron Man just really, really increases your appreciation for more individual aspects of the game. It sounds like you found something similar.
Yeah, one of my favorite runs I've ever done is Super Mario RPG Bowser Only. And that takes an incredibly easy game and makes you use arguably the worst party member with definitely the worst equipment get really good at that parry timing, because he can do an insane amount of damage, and you can make a couple of mistakes with him, but he has nothing broken. He has nothing that'll auto-wipe a boss. So you have to take their full assault. You have to take everything that they can throw at you and defend at least some of it properly. And it's such a fun run. And I got that here with DKC3.
Nice.
I think those are two of the games that challenge runs have elevated them the most for me. So that was really fun, and I was like, okay, I've closed the book on DKC3. I then played Donkey Kong Country 3 for the Game Boy Advanced. That's a wacky game. Do you know the differences of DKC3 GBA and SNES?
I'm not familiar now.
Okay, completely redone soundtrack. David Wise didn't do the original, but he did this one.
Okay.
Wrinkly Kong is now no longer a gamer grandma. She's now a born-again Christian for the Banana Birds. Cranky and Swanky have weird new minigames, and therefore it doesn't prepare you for the fight with Bleak the Snowman at all. He's just weird now. Because Swanky has like a virtual reality machine and Cranky is doing Kung Fu.
Okay.
New boss for the world, Razor Ridge, and then an entire new world exclusive to DKC 3 GBA, Pacifica, with 6 new levels.
So is it just the bigger game then?
It is the bigger game, and it would be better, but they changed the physics.
Oh.
And it's a decent approximation. It still functions well, but it makes the game slower. And now that I played the game crunchy and kinetic and fast, I liked it a lot less when it was, no, go slow, appreciate it like the game is telling you to. And I'm like, no, this feels different. Like, do you remember how fast the toboggan levels were?
Yes.
They're like half speed in this.
Oh, no.
And like, it makes it a lot more fair, but it also means you beat it in like 2 lives, as opposed to the hell we went through. And like, sometimes you want to just break your teeth on something.
Yeah.
The new levels are really fascinating because they're designed in a way that feels like they're ROM hack levels. Like, there's one level that is the tree biome, right? A lot of tight corridors in between tree trunks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's underwater tree trunks. So you get like this weird claustrophobic feeling of having to scale it vertically, but having very little lateral movement room. Another one is another water level, but there's an ocean current that sweeps you left and right, like a couple of those levels from DKC 2.
Okay. Interesting.
It's all really interesting, but it feels like it's built on people who knew DKC3's engine, and instead of looking for ways to bring the most out of it, they're looking for ways to twist it, to have plays on it, to make it feel more unique or subvert your expectations with the levels, basically. None of that is bad, but I just think it's a really fascinating design philosophy there. Because this level doesn't feel like the rest of the game. It feels like it was tacked on, and it's not bad, except for one level where you can really easily desync the bees. I hate that level. Gosh, I don't know. It feels so unique, and just like, before I replayed this, I would say like, yeah, it's the version with more content, and it's good, and it has a really interesting soundtrack. Some of it isn't great. Some of it is fantastic. One of it is just straight up a remix of Aquatic Ambiance in a different vibe, and it's about on par, or would be if the GBA could make good sounds. But because I played DKC3 on toughest before this, my opinion of it is much lower.
Interesting.
So I just wanted to share that, as my opinion of Donkey Kong Country 3 and where it stands in the grand scheme of things has completely shifted from where it was 6 months ago.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's fascinating. Having played it with you myself. Because I can definitely see, like, especially with the fact that you had me stapled to you the entire time, it had to take the puzzles at a much slower pace. But I can definitely see that game being significantly more engaging if you have to get through it both quickly and perfectly.
Yeah, and completionistly. That was a bitch.
I can imagine. And your reward is Cranky Kong doing so this game as well, the ultimate reward is just knowing that Cranky Kong is better than everyone else.
Exactly. There is a very consistent theme with this one. God, I think the last month has made me fall in love with Cranky Kong more than I ever have, and I already love him.
How is that possible? Like, he's already one, like, top 5 characters that Nintendo's created.
I know, but then I figured out ways to no, I like him better, though. Have you considered this angle me? And I go, no, that's rad as fuck. I wish Cranky Kong was my dad.
I don't know about that.
He'd be disappointed in me, but, eventually I would get there.
Maybe like an uncle you rarely see. I feel like constant Cranky Kong would be a bitch to live with.
Well, no, I'd get my own treehouse.
Oh, okay, there you go. Alright, I see. I'm following.
But yeah, that is me, except for the one big one that we have to do at the end, because obviously.
Alright, oh dear, we should have spaced these out more. I have 3 more. Okay, I'm going to be talking for a bit. That's okay, I can do this. Let's start with the easiest one. I was not expecting to play this game for this long, especially after bouncing off of Nick All-Stars so hard, but I am still having a lot of fun with Multiversus. Starting to really get a feel of a few of the characters, and there's a delightful amount of depth to the roster.
That's what I've seen, that's what I've heard.
I want to take some time to highlight the perk system really quick. You know what that is in this game?
Yeah, it lets you, adjust the properties of a move or your movement and such. It's, akin to Street Fighter X Tekken's gems, I think.
Yeah, it kind of like that. Just assign a lot of different traits to customize your character. Like Smash's custom moves or spirit system, except it's actually implemented well.
Right.
And at first glance, it's rather boring system. You get stuff like, you take 3% less damage, or your projectiles move a little bit faster, stuff like that. But once you start getting access to, the signature perks of characters, the ones that are specific to their kits, and then you level them up enough that you can mix and match regular ones onto any character, there's some really, really silly combinations. For example, Iron Giant has a passive ability that anytime he or an ally gets gray health, temporary hit points, it's extra health on top of your health, it gives them a Thorns buff, meaning that anybody that hits a Thorns target takes damage. He also has a signature perk that he can equip, which makes it so that every unique source of that gray bonus health gives him an additional stack of Thorns. And wouldn't you know it, there's a regular perk that gives a bit of gray health to the team once you land a projectile. And wouldn't you know it, not only does Velma's hilarious Scooby-Doo run give allies gray health if she carries them with it, she has a signature perk where anytime an ally picks up one of her evidence pieces, they get some gray health. And she has a ton of projectiles to proc the first perk, meaning that if there's a tag team of Velma and the Iron Giant, you basically have to hit Velma because you will melt yourself anytime you attack the Iron Giant.
I love that. I also love this pairing.
Right?
That is such a good combination. I love that so much. And he needs it. He needs the buffs.
Yeah, wouldn't you love a Scooby-Doo episode of just Velma and the Iron Giant going out to solve clues? Just the Iron Giant trying to handle evidence with his giant fingers.
Bro, they've teamed up with Batman so many times. They've teamed up with Courage. They've teamed up with Kiss. Screw it. Give me the Iron Giant.
Exactly, yeah. Just have him hold a regular-sized magnifying glass and try to peer through it with his giant eye that's 10 times the size of it.
Tell me about LeBron James.
LeBron James, oh boy. LeBron James is a fascinating character.
That's not the words I expected.
So, his biggest gimmick is that he's got a basketball, right?
Yes.
You can pass that to an ally, and if an ally throws it back, LeBron can teleport to the basketball and start a massive dunk that does, it's one of the strongest moves in the entire game. Creates a huge shockwave on the landing and everything. But you have to be playing ball with your ally. They have to be on the same wavelength as you to be hey, I passed the ball to you, pass it back to me right now. So sometimes you just play with somebody and it's just completely worthless, but when you find somebody that does get it, be okay, yeah, I'm gonna set you up right here, then you dunk it right there. Oh, it's so much fun. A surprisingly engaging and fun character. He's not just a meme. There's some genuine depth to him.
I wish I knew any basketball players other than Shaq and Kobe to relate that to. I guess Jordan and Pippen, but no one's going to get that.
Yeah, you don't really need much basketball knowledge. You just need to know Space Jam. I feel like I'd appreciate his moveset a lot more if I actually understood basketball techniques, because I'm looking at him, I can see he's doing a lot of stuff, but I'm not familiar. I just I know pass, I know dunk, I know dribble. That's about it.
If you haven't seen the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, I do recommend it. Even as someone who fell off of basketball after I stopped being a child, that's a really good documentary.
All right. Let's see. Morty got just added to the game as well. I haven't played with him that much, but he has a hilarious ability. You know in Brawl, for Fox's Final Smash, where you could just jet off the top of the screen and instantly kill them?
Falco, but yes.
Now, it was purple Fox and Falco, right?
Yeah, but Falco had a higher up, so you would do it more constantly with Falco.
Alright, yeah. Morty's up special is just summoning a spaceship that does the exact same thing.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
It's just as hilariously stupid. With how much of a meat grinder you get into, well, with this being a naturally 2v2 focused game, sometimes you'll just have people duking it out on top of the spaceship and it just kills everybody that's on the screen.
Please tell me that Morty never stops talking. I don't want a single thing that is not just geez improv all over the screen.
Unfortunately, I think with you've seen the Living Gun game?
Yes.
I think that's the voice actor for Morty hasn't had time to record voice lines for this game, so it's a lot of placeholder stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's unironically my biggest complaint with the game right now, because that's such a missed potential. But knowing them, I'm sure that they'll get around to it eventually when they have the chance. It's just not there yet. And he does still talk. It's just like very clearly ripped from episodes.
Almost had me.
Almost. A few months later, maybe we'll get you, but...
Look, when the leaks happen and the Wicked Witch of the West is in, I'm going to be like, oh, shit.
I mean, the Wicked Witch of the West is in the leaks, and she's actually...
Yes, I know. I know. But when she's actually here, and I hear the voice, I'm like, oh, shit. That seems fun.
So much of it is just... Like Tom and Jerry have finally clicked with me. Then they are such a delightfully tricky character. Heavily revolves around Tom's neutral attack, which is just him swinging his racket, because every single projectile that they have can be interacted with that racket. And if you have Jerry thrown out to be like, you can get that point where you're like playing tennis with him, you can get some insane like coverage of the entire screen with that. And he has a perk where he can like if he hits some of his projectiles, they'll split into additional projectiles.
I can't believe we no longer need Waluigi.
Yeah, unironically, it would feel like a pretty decent Waluigi moveset.
No, we've invalidated him. He's done.
And then there's a perk on them that, like, anytime you hit somebody with a projectile and then immediately hit them with a melee attack, it'll set them on fire.
Okay.
Which just, if you have a super aggressive character on your team, it just means that enemies are permanently on fire. Oh, it's such a delight. And, like, all of those perks stack if both allies take the same one. So, like, again, if you're on the same wavelength with a teammate, you can pull off some crazy, crazy stunts.
This is going to be so fun to lab out until people find the optimal combos.
Yeah, probably. But even then, like, they seem to be, like, they say this isn't Smash Brothers balance here. Like, having occasionally just visited Twitter just to see the developers, like, thought process, like, the amount of communication they have over, like, what's good, what's bad, what needs to be buffed is insane.
I'm told their patch notes are like, this is our intention for buffing or changing this move. As opposed to just adjustments made to fighter weight.
They actually share the thought process, and it's just, I don't know, man. I think I'm going to be playing this game for a while. I just find the 2v2 designs just be so much more engaging than any system I've seen in another platform fighter, including Smash Brothers. It just, tying in that camaraderie of just trying to work together with someone to defeat your opponents who are doing the same thing, it's just that clicks with something in my head that just hasn't gotten me with any other game like this.
Very understandable.
It's been so comfortable that I played a bit of Smash after one of my D&D sessions, and I was messed up by the controls because I wanted to do things I was doing in Multiversus. Like, it actually kind of overwrote the Smash controls for me. Like, what do you mean I can't dodge through platforms? This doesn't feel good to have to hold down. Where's the snappiness?
It's not there. Play defensively. Weave. You got shields now, bud.
No, I really don't like shields now. Like, I kind of wasn't feeling that before when we were talking about that in, like, a previous episode, but I get it now. Having to, like, dodge, like, putting that time into it, it feels so much better.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you.
Oh, I do have one genuine complaint about the game. Mm-hmm. This thing needs more maps. Like, really, really badly. There are 6 right now. That's less than Smash 64.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a shame because, like, I heard the remix of the Steven Universe theme on that one, and I'm like, it's so good! What are the other ones like?
Oh yeah, no, the music tracks themselves are actually surprisingly really good. And like they've been data mined a lot of different music that's in the game, so it's clear that there's a lot of stages that are planned.
Mm-hmm.
And like it might not be the game's fault. There were several Lord of the Rings tracks, which I imagine the Embracer acquisition has made a little complicated.
Yeah.
But still, like the stage list needs some variety. I want to see that. Give me that Game of Thrones stage with the excellent remix. Give me the Warner Bros. Lots. It sounds like that's in there too. There was a song for Mordor, man, and that would have just been... I never would have wanted to play anywhere else, but... legal issues need to be worked in first.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a fun game.
Good.
Gonna keep playing it, can't wait for Gremlins. Gonna be great. I have also, as I've been saying, played Cult of the Lamb.
Okay, tell me more, because my best friend has been regaling me with tales of her time through it. It sounds very, very enjoyable. I cannot play it because I will get sucked in.
Yeah, how do I put this? The game is a delight at its best, and at its worst, it's a solid time waster to get back to the delightful stuff.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, the basic premise is fairly self-explanatory. It's a roguelike hack and slash cross with an Animal Crossing game going through its edgy teenage years. You venture out on a run, collect materials and upgrades, and come back and spend them upgrading and feeding your cults, and just repeat that process. And I was surprised by just how much stuff there is to do on the cult simulator side of things. Like, when I saw this game, I was kind of expecting something more along the lines of, like, Hades, you have a base, you can spend money to upgrade it, but it's more of a rest stop to get back to the runs.
Right.
But I'd say that, I go so far as to say that the reverse is true here. The cult base is the primary feature of the game that the hack and slash runs only exist to fuel. Because, like, the fighting is... It's fine. The bosses are pretty well designed, it's decently challenging, but every time I'm out in the field, there's always that, like a magnet to get back to the end as quickly as possible, so I can go back to force a moose and a beaver to fight a deathmatch for my favor, to prove their loyalty to me. It's an oddly relaxing, soothing game given the subject matter there. Like, you'll have to really focus and, like, just get into the motions of, like, dodging around for the roguelike runs, but when you're in the cult stuff, it's got that same, like, Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, just chill vibes. Like, sure, I'm planning on sacrificing all these animals to the Eldritch Gods, but right now they're so cute and you can give them little necklaces and gifts that you find, build little houses for them. It's adorable.
Yeah. I think that roguelike developers are finding that very snappy and clever gameplay and just that constant cycle will get people to stay, but what gets them in the door and what gets them really, really invested are these character interactions, is this constant sense of adding, in this case, tragedy at times, to your various characters that you get in between the runs.
Yeah.
Sounds like this capitalizes on that real good.
Very well, very well.
Yeah, I've seen the guy with, like, all the gold statues. I'm like, ooh, yes, your aesthetic. Great.
Yeah, there's... Already in the game, there's a lot of ways you can just make things look pretty, and it sounds like they're going to keep updating the game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little hesitant to tell this story, but I'm going to anyway for content. I'm a little concerned about how eager my brain is to get in character for this game. The first follower I got, I was looking at renaming them, thinking about maybe doing something cute or referential, but then it was like, almost like a voice in the back of my head crept in and said, cast off their identity. Who they are now should solely reflect their role in this organization. I've gotten back to base camp at night when all my followers are sleeping, and I'll first think that I should let them rest after a hard day's work, but no! Pushing through their exhaustion to perform a ritual is necessary to prove their devotion. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm having fun.
You know, that's all that matters.
So sometimes you get into a point where it's that acting sort of thing where you can disassociate and just live a role for a second.
No, I get you. It's like this fun extra level of immersion of something that is, you know, patently ridiculous, but being able to tell this story with it and having the game set it up really, really well.
Exactly. I do wish the combat was a little more engaging.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like, it's perfectly serviceable for what this game is, but... Oh, how do I put this? I have yet to see a weapon drop and feel excited to use that weapon. Like there's nothing like getting, like, a heavy axe in Dead Cells and having that feel good, or getting a combination of perks in Hades to make the Bomberman gun work as Bomberman.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, here's the tool I'll use to get to the end of this. Maybe that'll change as I get more spells as the game progresses, but I feel like it's inherently simplistic to better allow for you to get more invested in the cult side of things.
That's definitely the feel I've gotten from it, yeah.
Still fun though. It's good enough that it doesn't feel like a burden.
Yeah, that's sort of the vibe that I've gotten from it, is like, it is obvious why this is popular. It's not as good as the other things that were popular for similar reasons, but it still makes the brain go burr. And look at the Lammy. He is so evil, but so cute.
I've heard there's like some weird Twitch integrations with the game too, like surprisingly deep ones.
That makes sense.
I could see this being like a really good game for something like that.
I imagine that this is a great stream game and very popular for it.
Just like naming followers after viewers. And be like, oh, you said something weird in chat? I'm gonna sacrifice you to the Eldritch Gods.
Oh, look at you, chat. You're a bunch of shit eaters, chat. I'm gonna name my follower Chat, and you only eat poop now. We can't name that the podcast title, can we? Chat eats poop.
Oh, I wish, but probably not.
Damn it.
Name a follower Dignity, sacrifice them, and force feed Chat the remains. See if that changes anything.
Oh, gosh. Chat is my favorite cultist. It's not even funny, it's just accurate.
Yeah, There's like a surprising amount of similarities. Like I'm playing this game, and he's like, oh yeah, this is why I don't have a Discord server anymore. I remember this feeling.
Oh my god. I'm gonna watch the Shadow the Hedgehog fan dub after this again.
Yes! I've watched it like 3 times.
Yep. I think I've done the same amount.
Subscribe to your OnlyFans, sir. Tier 1 sub. Fucking, I have to update my audio equipment. Cock's done. Yes. I have updated my audio
equipment. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's a good game.
Good.
Just have one more. Every year, I just get this itch, a whim, to re-download Heroes of the Storm.
You could say that you get the hots.
Yes, I get the hots for hots.
Yes.
This is probably the one game I can point at and comfortably claim that I could play this professionally if I really wanted to. It drives me mad that MOBAs are the games that like click with me the most. But like, it's just the game mechanics like just mesh with me, and I cannot resist going back to because the only other option is going back to play League of Legends, which I'm not going to do.
Right. But it's the competitive version of games from your childhood, but done on a more individualized form, but with the team communication that you obviously really like.
Yeah.
So yes, it is made for you. So get good at Pokemon Unite. They're adding Dodrio.
Pokemon Unite is only like has the quality things it has because it stole so much from Heroes of the Storm.
You're correct, but it has Dodrio. That's such a weird pick. I love it.
I do like Pokemon Unite's roster. It is very good.
Yeah.
I would almost call Heroes of the Storm, even regarding that Pokemon Unite is right there, I would call Heroes of the Storm the Smash Brothers of MOBA games. It sacrifices a lot of the genre traditions to break out in a unique and interesting way and make it accessible to more people. Like, items are such a complicated mess in MOBAs. They're hard to balance around, they're hard to work around, it's hard to memorize your proper builds.
Right.
This game replaces that for talents, which actually take a hero's individual traits and are like, oh hey, this guy throws this projectile in this way, you can get a talent that splits into 3 projectiles if it hits something or something like that.
Alright.
It makes the actual gameplay of the game more streamlined, but makes every individual design more interesting, making them evolve through a match. You can like play a certain character several different ways depending on how you build them. The heavier emphasis on team play is so much better than any other MOBA. Like, it's not even close. This is a game that actually made it so that healing is actually impactful in this game, which like heavily encourages players to actually like group up together and protect the healer. I love it when a game like this actually is designed in a way that encourages the team play that you're trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Like in like say League of Legends, you get this really toxic like, I'm gonna carry the entire team because I can't do that because this character kit is designed to literally delete characters that they run into. It's one of the biggest sources of toxicity in the genre. That sort of thing where you can technically do everything yourself, but you are also pretty reliant on your teammates to get to that point.
Right, it's very much designed as a solo game, except for that one person who has to not play it as a solo game and gets the crap for it, and then they go, oh no, you suck shit, I feed now.
Exactly. You can't really do that in this game. Level progression is shared between your entire team, so there's not just one guy that can just go off on his own and come back like 5 levels higher than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always encouraged to work together in that way because it benefits everybody.
Very nice.
And then they heavily buff up how impactful tanking and healing is, to a point of just like, hey, you want to try to delete this hero? I'm going to get them up to full instantly. What are you going to do about it? Quick guests from the crows there. Lovely.
Yeah, shouts to the crows.
Yeah, shoutouts. Great animals. I love crows.
Yeah, thanks, Akechi.
That completely threw off my train of thought. It's like, ooh, crows. I love crows.
Right?
Oh, but more seriously, I think the best thing the game does is have a unique variety of battlegrounds. Like, you see League of Legends, you see Summoner's Rift, that's the only place that you're going to go. Mm-hmm. But in this game, there's like 10 different places you go, and each have their own, like, super unique objectives to them. Like, there's one where you have to have your, teammates control 2 different shrines, so one person can go to the middle and control this giant dragon statue. It's like, completely smash through, environments. There's one that's based off of StarCraft, where every now and then a bunch of nukes will appear on the stage, and you have to fight over those so you can drop them on your enemy base.
Okay.
There's one that you have to gather up a bunch of spider gems to sacrifice to the spider god, which will summon a bunch of spiders to attack your enemies.
I like spiders.
Yeah, there's a really nice variety to the game that prevents it from getting into the repetitive slog of League of Legends. Also, the matches are like twice as fast.
Oh, thank God.
The worst thing about League of Legends is that you can be stuck for like an hour in a toxic match with just this mouth breather that's throwing off racist slurs everywhere. But in Heroes of the Storm, like 20-25 minutes tops.
Oh, that's so much more
you're
palatable.
Done.
Just because,
Right?
especially in MOBAs, like, you know you're going to lose or win within the first, 5-10 minutes?
Most MOBAs, yes. Heroes of the Storm is a little more, because of the objectives on the map. If you can just control one objective, you can make really good comebacks, which again, is just another solid point in its favor.
Good.
But even with that in regards, you'll rarely get to the 30-minute mark. And if it's the 30-minute mark, it's probably a good game.
All right, nice. I'll take it.
I think I want to take a second just to praise how good the character designs are in this game. Because again, it was kind of the Smash Brothers of the genre, and they just went crazy with just how weird they can make some of these characters. Like, I've talked about this before, but Dark Matter was my Dark Matter video was almost entirely inspired by a character called Abathur.
Abathur, yeah.
Very, very squishy slug. You do not move out of the base with him, and people will often try to dive into towers just to kill him, because he's got like a fourth of the health of a normal hero.
Right.
But he has an ability that he can essentially... How do I put this? This is hard to describe. Like, you'll go into a cocoon, and like this infectious growth will appear above the hero that he uses this ability, and it's a global ability, so you can basically turn himself into a turret on top of another hero to buff their stats out anywhere on the map.
Oh, that's nice.
So you only have 4 players on the map, but any player can become a player and a half at a moment's notice.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, he also has an ability that lets him place like small landmines anywhere on the map in a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
So he sacrifices like an extra body to have complete global control in a way that no other character can have. Another character named Murky. Murky is a baby Murloc. He just places down this egg that he respawns on. Like Abathur, he's a much weaker version of a regular character.
Mm-hmm.
But if you kill him, he'll respawn in like 5 seconds from that egg.
I like this. I like being the Mook army.
He literally has an ultimate where he just summons an army of even tinier Murlocs to just latch forward onto anybody they meet, like a Pikmin.
I love that they have turned
Warhorn
the recurring mini-boss into a game mechanic. That's great.
Just straight up. His only purpose is to annoy the enemy team. Because, like, he's really weak, but you can't ignore him because he can clear out, like, creep waves really, really fast so he can push down towers.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll just send Murky off when an objective happens, being like, okay, someone on the enemy team has to deal with the stupid frog monster, otherwise we're gonna lose a tower. And it's so funny to be that thorn in your opponent's side.
That sounds much nicer than Teemo.
Oh, it's so much better. I've talked about Cho'Gall before. One character, 2 players.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things to do with my brother. Just like one person moves, the other person. It's basically a permanent Abathur, but you're just a big chunky boy that can delete teams if you get the right setup.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Stukov is a hilarious character. He's a futuristic Russian commanding officer, which is already just a really funny, just really fun design. But he's infested by the Zerg, so he's got this just ridiculously jacked arm that's almost like the length of his entire body. He played as a healer, like he's got this infectious pathogen that he spreads to people that will heal them. But he has the highest attack damage in the entire game, but the slowest attack speed. So on one hand, you have this role that's normally just the healer, just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stand in the back, I'm gonna make sure everybody's healthy. But if somebody tries to dive you, just one slap and it takes out like 1/4 of their health. It's so funny.
That's really nice.
Then his ultimate ability, he just pushes the player with his arm, which will start rapidly growing, just to push him further and further. It will not stop growing until it hits something. Which means you can be stuck there for like a solid 3 seconds as you push somebody from one side of the map to the entire other side of the map.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, freaking Tetsuo it. I love that.
Just one more, because it was the... Heroes of the Storm had a Ridley is too big in the form of Deathwing,
yes.
the giant volcano dragon.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, but not only did they put him in the game, they fucking nailed it. Like, it's one of the craziest designs, like, the most polarized designs. Like, oh yeah, he has, like, permanent armor. He cannot be healed. Allies cannot buff him, but he cannot be stunned. He's twice the size of any other character in the game, but his area of effect abilities will not only hit half the screen, but they'll delete anybody that they catch.
Yeah, it sounds like your original Ridley design took a lot of inspiration here.
I made that before Deathwing came out.
Congratulations on making Deathwing.
I did feel slightly validated from that. It was like, okay, yeah, that was a big mess, but at least I had something.
At least I'm correct. There is a reality where I am right, so congratulations there.
Indeed. I really love the creativity that went into this game. It's tragic that it was killed by incompetence. There was something really special here, but corporate was all like, nope, it's a MOBA, it must become and surpass League of Legends, and if it doesn't achieve that lofty goal, it's a failure.
Name one Blizzard game that doesn't apply to, but replace MOBA with genre of choice.
I would have to reach into the larger Activision catalog for like Candy Crush or Call of Duty or something like that. I mean, World of Warcraft's... that's being driven into
even
the
then,
dust.
the expansions. Like, tell me WoW isn't playing catch-up with FF14.
I feel like it's generous to say that they're trying to catch up in the first place. I feel like the distance is moving further apart, and it's not getting better. I know it's a long shot, but if that Microsoft acquisition can somehow revitalize that game, like they've got some... Microsoft doesn't have a crossover. That is their crossover. I'm okay, I promise.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah.
I loved this game. There was a point, like right when I started the Duke of Dorks channel, I was choosing between, do I want to make Smash Brothers character concepts, or do I want to make Heroes of the Storm character concepts? I'm like, clearly I picked the right one.
Yeah, a bit.
But I picked what I did because I liked Smash Brothers less, and I wanted to be like, you know what, you make too much about the stuff that you like, that you can kind of feel like a job. So I picked Smash Brothers because I was a little more of a formula I was getting tired of. And it just... I'm gonna make like a video solely just asking, like, just petition, revitalize this game, please, if the acquisition goes through.
Not do it. Absolutely, 100% do it. Follow what you're passionate about, my dude.
It first needs to get to a point where I can actually feel like, okay, I feel okay being passionate about this.
Yeah, but like, when the time is right and the wind is blowing in the proper direction.
Then I will strike.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the 3 of the medium ones. Now let's spend the next half of this episode, because like I've gotten quite a bit of a ways into Live Alive.
Yes. All right. I have completely finished the game. I spent most of my time doing every optional content, every bonus boss. I did not finish endgame in every single route, but I did several of them, and I did whatever alternate paths are available in different routes, so I could hear all the voice acting.
It's so good. How is it this good?
I know. Oh my god. And you can hear, like, okay, they're using this voice actor for this role, this different role, but they nail it every single time. And it works within the context and narrative of the story. Okay, I have to ask, what chapters have you cleared?
Okay, I have cleared Future, I've cleared Wild West, Imperial China, not prehistory, but like I've gotten to the end boss and like went back to find the secret boss and I haven't beaten that yet. So like I've basically cleared. And then I've cleared Modern Day.
Okay.
I still need to get to Twilight of Edo and Near Future.
Near Future, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, you got 2 long ones.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Have loved all of them.
Yep. Pick any one of them and we'll go into it. Spoilers for Live Alive, but general thoughts on it? Good, yeah?
Yes, very good. Play Live Alive. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to do a bit. I completely forgot to, where I would just like recite the speech you did at the last episode, just from my perspective. God damn it, I forgot to do that. Play Live Alive! It is the seminal RPG experience. That's all I remember.
Alright, that's fine.
But Future has been my favorite one so far.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's one that people either really love or are like, oh, okay, I guess.
I mean, even if it's okay, I guess, it's a pretty short chapter.
Well, yeah.
I love just the love letter to both Aliens and to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I know.
That is just a marriage of those 2 movies, and it's so good.
I know, and it even obviously throws references to Star Wars and Trek in there as well. It loves sci-fi so much.
Indeed. Cube is adorable.
Yes.
Just this little spherical little dude with a little baseball cap. Serves coffee to guys. Some of them don't like it when you serve coffee, but then you serve coffee to them in the end, and it's just so heartwarming.
Yeah, express your love through coffee. Such a good character trait, I love it. Are you renaming the characters or using default names?
I'm keeping them default.
Okay, I am incapable of not giving my characters stupid names, so I named Cube Emmerich after the doctor from Metal Gear.
Yeah!
Because I thought that naming them after failed scientists is just the right move.
That feels like something his creator would have named him.
Yes.
I could see that.
Yes.
I'm surprised how well, like, in every story here, by how well the game is able to get you hooked on characters despite how little time you're spending with them.
There is so much that goes into the investment of not just the settings and the trappings, but just of how your character gets to interact with that. There's just a joy because they're the vector in which you see the world from with them.
Exactly, yeah. I just really like the roleplay of just being just the little bot helper that's trying to make people feel better. I want more games like that.
There's really this joy of being the R2-D2 who can just do anything and is able to help the main cast in ways that they never possibly could, but silently are the star of the show.
Exactly, yeah. Oh man, the first time that I saw the behemoth in the halls...
It's such a good design.
That was terrifying. Like, I had headphones on, it was dark outside, and you just hear this boom, boom, boom. And it was like coming down as I was going up, so I was already like it was almost on top of me.
Oh,
that was terrifying.
And that thing's fast.
Yeah. You can barely stay in front of it.
Yeah. Oh. And like the sequences where the doors are shutting in front of you or the electricity pops up. It's so well paced.
Indeed.
Not just in a general story sense, but just in the sense of individual action sequences are so well paced. I love being able to violate people's privacy and dig into their personal logs.
It's fine, you're just a robot. You're just learning about them.
It's fine. You were invited to be curious about the world. Oh no, this love triangle? Funny. And the payoff at the end, like... Oh, I forgot how many chills I got when I get to see die, child, die.
I just love that slow realization of like, okay, we gotta find some terminal where ODO cannot get to us here. Like, okay, do we go like to the top? No, they're gonna... Wait a second.
What is non-essential power on this ship?
And then just immediately realizing like how that's going to translate. Like, I knew immediately that was going to be a boss fight in the context of Captain Square.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that was such a good moment. And like, that was the first time I heard like the boss music as well. Could not have been happier with that experience.
Oh, Megalomania is so good. I did beat Captain Square. Kirk just says, wow, I really gotta step it up. I didn't even get the memory card. I just did it in front of him and beat his high score.
Nice. I got stuck on the third stage. There's the one fire sprite thing.
Oh yeah, that's tricky.
You have to poison it, right?
What you have to do is you have to get the water ones to lay down water tiles so that the fire one gets on the water tile and takes damage from it.
Oh.
So if you kill them immediately, it's almost impossible to get through.
That makes more sense. Okay. I think it is still technically possible because I was able to poison it once.
Yes.
It just takes a tick of damage and you have to do it like 5 more times, but it's technically possible.
Yeah, it is. I think if you get lucky with the whatever phage attack he has, that can do it well, but...
Yeah, I love that so much. Sci-fi horror might be like my favorite setting to be in a video game. So that was that was pinpoint accuracy targeted at just right at my interests.
Oh yeah.
Also really loved Wild West 2, though.
Oh my god, can we talk for like a few hours about Mad Dog?
Yes, such a cool character.
Oh my god. His voice actor just does such a good job. He has that perfect dichotomy of that smarmy bounty hunter that goes into that unbridled anger and that care, and you can feel the connection with Sundown through him. Oh, his voice acting is so good.
Indeed. I just want to... That was the one that I felt like, no, I want more of this. No, don't end now. No, I want to keep going.
I know. I mean, I felt that way with a lot of chapters, but that one in specific is just, oh. And it's so perfectly paced. I mean, it has to be by necessity of its design.
Yeah. I loved that was such a fun mini game. Just being like, okay, go around, just find all the little items that could potentially be made into traps. Just hearing Mad Dog's like commentary of like, okay, yeah, what could this trap be made into, and who would be good at it? It was pretty simple, and they guide you through it pretty well. I can definitely see why items not sparkling was a huge problem in the original game.
Oh yeah,
holy shit, that would have been a problem.
There was that, and Mad Dog didn't give you hints in the original. So it was a crapshoot.
Yeah, but just having that, being like, oh yeah, here's the bartender. Let's see if he can do something with like the sexy poster of a woman that he has in his room, and having that actually work.
Yeah, and just having the guy go, that's weird.
Yeah. And just dying immediately.
Oh, I can't believe you died of horny.
But like, isn't it so satisfying? Just like, okay, you found everything, you sent everybody out to set the traps, and just having that cinematic of just having them all work.
Yes.
That's just beautiful.
Oh, were you at a point where it's like, oh god, please Delos, get back in time?
The first time, yes. I replayed it once to make sure that Mad Dog survived. And that's
right.
when I just had the route down.
Yes.
It's like, okay, come on, man, you gotta get back. Come on.
Yep.
You had a bottle of fire, I believe in you. And it was like 5 seconds before the end that you finally made it back. I love how... we talked about this last time, how you send out the mariachi band and it takes away their instruments.
Yes.
I love how, like, the first two guys have, like, this entire side of the orchestra they bring with them. But then Delos, it's just maracas.
Yep.
You barely notice him once he's gone.
Yep. It's like, Delos. I am useful sometimes.
But today is not the day.
He does have a random chance of actually, like, instantly doing it.
That's
but
great.
It's very low.
I love that.
Did you ever sneak into Annie's room and steal her diary?
Was that what that was? Oh,
yes.
Can you do that? Is she
Yes, if you send her out and go in, you can take it, and then you can ask her to set it as a trap, and she will hit you.
Yes.
I think in the original it was her panties, but...
that makes sense as a change.
Yeah.
Oh, can you read the diary?
No.
Damn it.
But you can equip it, and it gives you a stat buff.
Yes.
How many did you clear your first time?
I got all but one my first time.
Oh, did you miss the rope?
I missed the poster.
Oh.
Because it was in front, I think it was in front of something else that you're not supposed to, like the earnings or something like that.
It is usually the poster or the rope that people miss.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's one that's tucked away in the house that has nothing else, and you have to recognize the door's there because there's a perpendicular door upstairs.
Yeah.
When ODO came at you with the Gatling gun, and you just instantly, one of your characters just instantly died, what was that feeling?
Oh shit! That was the feeling. Just oh shit! I love how the combat is like, it's pretty simple on its own, but you just have those moments of being like, okay, I know this guy shoots this way, I cannot be diagonally of this character's sprite.
Yes.
There's
and
a very
just try
fun
and
dance
figure
to the
out
combat.
how big their sprites are so that you clip, like, the left or right side of them.
Exactly, yeah. Very fun, interesting take on positional combat like that.
Yeah.
This was where I had to replay it for Mad Dog, and I was like, wait, are they all ODO? Holy shit, they are!
It gets very obvious with the cowboy villain, yeah, but... Oh my god, and the music in that chapter.
Oh, yes, that whistling theme. I love the whistle with cowboy music. That is just a match made in heaven.
Yes.
I feel like we could say about that about every chapter, though.
Well, yeah, it's spot on. Yoko Shimomura does an amazing job the whole way through, but...
That emotional song, I don't know what it's called, but it plays every single time like something heavy or sad happened.
Oh yeah, Cry Alive?
Yes, that's just, so good. So good.
Yes. Oh, pick another one. This is fun.
I went to Imperial China next, because I remember that was the one that you said to play first.
Yes.
I made a mistake in this one.
Oh, did you?
Yes, because I was like, oh yeah, I've got 3 disciples here. I'm gonna try to level them all up equally so that I'm like spending time with all of them as equally as I can.
Oh, you were trying to be the good Shifu.
Yeah, and then 2 of them die, and I was sad, both because I liked both of them, but also because there was so much wasted. I took the one that was the S archetype, the one that starts sucky, but gets better as he gets along.
Oh, you got Yuan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did Yuan for my playthrough too, but only because I've already done Hong and Lei.
It was just a moment of, oh, god damn it, I should have seen that coming. That's on me.
It's so perfect for the Kung Fu genre. Like, it's exactly beat for beat.
For sure.
But yeah, I think it's by far the most fun introduction to the combat in the game.
I agree with that, yeah. It gives you a lot of different takes on just how it works. Teaching disciples moves is a very satisfying way of like getting used to like, okay, this is how this move works, this is how this move works. Getting a sense of like how the positional aspects work.
Yeah.
I do feel like the giant, like, this might have just been because my disciple was underleveled, but it did become a bit of a slog getting through all of the enemies at the end.
Well, I understand that. Like, you can't do a Kung Fu movie and not do that.
Thematics-wise, it was a 10 out of 10. I was just feeling it the whole time, like, why didn't I level you up? Why didn't I level you up? Why didn't I...
No, I get you. You're right. He gets some cool moves later on when he graduates from the Shifu's moves. Like, it's so neat. All 3 of them have unique moves of their own.
Nice! I have not gotten far enough to see those.
Yeah. Well, they can use them on you. Like, I think Lei has, like, Kingfisher's Descent or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Hong has, like, Pig's Feet, Super Combo, Spicy. They're named after food because that's his personality.
No, I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
I was laughing out loud at that little bit of extra dialogue when you save the town from, it's still Odio. Odio's bandits.
Yeah, it's Odi-Wan Lee. Yeah.
Odi-Wan Lee, yeah. And you go in, and like everybody's thanking you, and then one of the girls is like, "Hey, come over here." It's like, "Miss, I think I see what you're trying to do here, but I have to refuse." And then the chief just goes like, "Oh, well, that is a large, delightful peach bun."
Yes. It's so much worse that you realize at the end of the game his name is Roshi.
That just clicked with me. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's a delightful chapter for me. And just, first off, Heavenly Peak's Descent as a move.
Yeah.
Like, perfectly named, perfectly executed, works so well, and that entire ending sequence, from the moment you defeat Odi-Wan Lee and give him the final kick, is just...
And he's able to finally break the boulder, and your heart swells as he finally gets to do what his master was trying to teach him.
When you kick him through his throne into the gong...
Yes.
It's so good! And then you get the thing where he's like, I have to tell Lei and Hong how much you've grown. Die.
Aww.
I'm going to reiterate how good the voice acting is here.
100%. Like, Square's voice acting can get a little iffy at times, but when they nail it, they nail it.
This is mostly, I believe, new actors to either voice acting, just voice acting in general. I think most of them were either fresh or from like theater and whatnot. And you can tell the difference in enunciation and whatnot.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to have good voice directors. Like, you get stuff like this. As long as the talent's there.
And for something that needs as much as genre fiction, tell me about Modern Day.
Modern Day I did next. Just the biggest grin on my face when I just started, and it's just the World Warriors. It's just a Street Fighter. Select your character.
Yes, and one of them is Hulk Hogan.
I tried to do left to right, but the leftmost guy kicked my ass. I can't remember what I tried to do after that.
Yeah, no, it's understandable.
That was such a fun take on a traditional boss fight. Just trying to figure out, okay, in every other chapter, you're trying to like avoid the hitboxes that people use their strongest moves. Now you're trying to specifically get to that point, being like, okay, come on, hit me. I want to learn this, hit me. And immediately being able to turn the tables and use those back on them.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
One of my favorite little details is just how many little secret Easter eggs there are, like the Yokozuna, Jackie. He has a super secret move that is actually your character's ultimate that you can learn from him, but you have to break his legs and his arms in order to get him to use it.
Yeah, I remembered you saying that last time. I tried so hard to figure out, okay, what... I think it's the arm bind and this, but like, who do I use it on and which one is it?
Yep.
I eventually just gave up.
Oh yeah, it's really hard. There's also a chance in Great Asia's fight that you get the obligatory Watanabe cameo.
How does that appear?
There's just like a 1/100 chance that the dad who always dies in every single chapter will come up and start heckling him, and Great Asia will beat the shit out of him, and then his son will go, no! Speaking of Great Asia, his intro.
Yes.
Precision bleeps are my favorite thing in the world.
I loved how that's... I feel like that was the most impactful narrative for me. I just really loved how that ended. Like, yeah, you have gone into the journey, you've become the strongest warrior, and now forever people will be trying to find you so they can take that title from you.
You got the #1 headband. There's nothing else. It's so good.
Yeah, it was poignant.
Yeah. Way to sell the name Odio Bright to the voice actor.
You will face me, Odio Bright.
Ah, it's so good. Such a stupid name. I know it's a reference to the fighter, but... Yeah, I know it's such a short chapter, but just, it nails everything it wants to do.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be longer. Like, some of them I feel like I want this to keep going on. Like, that was perfect.
You could give me 2 more, so there are 8 World Warriors, but I don't need it.
True, yeah.
Oh my god, and just like, there's so much beautiful detail work in the backgrounds, but having each fighter have their own unique one. The overkill on that is insane.
Just go from like Hulk Hogan's wrestling ring to like in the middle of like a Russian like military camp. Just like, geez.
Yes. I think either that or Near Future is my favorite generic battle theme.
I've been saving Near Future for last just because I feel like that's going to be my like one of my favorite ones, and I want to like bookend it with high notes.
That's totally fair. Do you like anime?
It depends.
Okay.
We shall see.
All right.
It's very much a love-hate relation. I feel like I've made it very clear on this podcast that it's very much a love-hate
relation. No, I understand that. Yes. But do you like anime that would have been popular in 94? Not a modern anime.
Maybe. Some of them, yes. Some of them a lot, yes.
Okay, then there's some good waiting for you.
Cool.
Prehistory, did you find the super secret?
I did. I only found it because of you, but I did find it.
That's the coolest thing to me.
Just, press this 100 times and then go all the way to the other side, and then you just get a rock. And it's a really good rock.
It's the best puzzle. It's like, if you know the answer, you know it. If you don't, this is useless. Did you solve the puzzle?
No, I just used your help.
No, I mean, when you got to that really good rock, did you solve the puzzle of what to do at that rock?
Oh! No, I saved, and then I just kept trying random things.
Oh. I see. Because it's reference.
What is the puzzle?
The puzzle is, have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
It's been... Oh my god, I'm an idiot!
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay, yeah, that's on me. I
To spoil it for everyone at home, whatever, you're in the Live Alive spoiler section, I don't care. You throw the bone at the monolith, and it gives you knowledge. It's so fucking good.
It's so good. I love that.
Tell me about prehistory in general now.
This has been, I think from a combat standpoint, this has actually been it was my favorite until I needed to start grinding for the mammoth, in which case that's like, okay, I've seen this enough, but like, I just love the variety and how quickly you learn new moves. There was a really fun feeling of progression here.
It does a great job at teaching you the different kinds of terrain because of poop.
Stupid poop.
It's such a good move.
Yeah. Huge
I will never
area.
level out of poop.
I found it so hilarious. Just the little smiley face sensors throughout.
Oh, yes.
That's hilarious.
I know that this chapter was designed by a comedy mangaka, and it very much shows. But just like the little things, like the guess which pile of caveman has more.
That was such a funny way of putting a mini game into a thing where you cannot teach people through dialogue how it works.
Yes.
It's like, okay, point.
And there are variants of that one too. Like sometimes they'll ask you which one is more, which one is less, which one has gory in it.
Yes. And it just gives you free stuff, which like the crafting's a little bare bones, but I appreciate that it's there.
It's a crafting system in 94.
Yeah.
It's such a fun chapter to just make stuff happen in.
Yeah, you'll have that hole in the ground that I can't remember the Pogo? I think it's Pogo.
Yeah, Pogo is
right?
yeah.
Pogo has to jump across, and then Gory will just walk back off the screen and come back on the other direction.
Yep.
Just.
Of course, I have no shame, so I named my little man Lil Ungus.
I respect that, but I also hate you.
I know. It's okay. He's up there with the Shaq Fu Master, the Manly Kid, Go Ninja Go, but spelled with like U's.
No, I'm with you.
And my piece de resistance, the greatest fire in the world, Quadly Buffwell.
Oh my god. That's just gonna be in my head now. I'm gonna think about that every time I play Live Alive. God damn it.
Just, the world was saved thanks to Quadly Buffwell and Lil Ungus.
I love how much they're able to convey without any words.
Yes.
Like, you told me about it several times before, so I was expecting it, but, like, this is really solid. Like, I'm actually getting some, like, proper emotions out of this. Well done.
And the sprite animation in it is fantastic.
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah. One of the cute things that I love that they do is whenever they have a speech bubble that talks about a specific character, it's their sprite from the original game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
It's so cute. There is exactly one issue that I have with this remake, and it happens in this chapter.
Oh,
and
what is it?
I will spoil it for you, because at the end of this chapter, Lil Ungus creates the first spoken word in humanity, and in this, it translates it as IE, because they didn't get a new English voice dub, so it's just like he's screaming in happiness, but I translates to love. So,
aww.
In the earlier translation, the first spoken word in humanity was love, and that is no longer the case in English, at least.
I am glad. I don't know. That probably would have just gone straight over my head otherwise.
Yeah, but now it's a sex joke. I mean, it was a sex joke when it was love, but that is my one criticism of this remake, and it's a fairly sizable one. But God, it does so much. Like, oh my God, they've added a bunch to this remake, and what they've added, oh man, oh, that's so good, so fucking good.
I really appreciated the using sniffing to control random encounters. That's an interesting take. I kind of like.
If you find Mammoth too hard, that is okay. You don't have to beat Mammoth. Mammoth is really freaking hard.
Does it, like, change anything? Because, like, I hit it once and it's just like, oh god, that's 900 hit points. And you just blew me up instantly. Okay.
Yeah, it gets worse. Because eventually you'll be able to pace him in damage, but he generates fire tiles, and he heals off of those fire tiles.
Oh, come on.
And he heals for everyone he takes up.
So you basically just have to keep throwing poop to
yes,
this
or
is
you have to
Divinity
interrupt
combat.
him. or you have to interrupt him because his ultimate is just, he nukes the field and everything is fire now.
Lovely.
It is infuriating unless you're a high enough level. I beat him at level 12.
I'm not even 12 yet. I think I'm 11.
If you want to move on, it's okay.
I will probably do that then.
He has a very rare drop, which is good, and he has a regular drop, which is also good, but they are not necessary. They're just helpful.
Okay.
Like, I think Rock of Rocks is the thing to get. Also, item descriptions in this chapter.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Very pointy, much
even
hurts.
Even goes into like the tooltips as well.
Yes.
It's so good.
Bone is bone.
Kick bad twice. No, it's actually kick bad.
Yes. Kick bad. Mini hurts.
Sing hurt.
Yes.
Sing good.
I'm mad that you haven't finished yet. I have so many more things to say.
I tried. I was trying to kill a mammoth. I couldn't.
It's okay. You don't have to kill the bonus bosses. They're really difficult.
Okay.
Like, they're really great expressions of the combat system, and I felt amazing conquering him. But King Mammoth is so freaking hard. Like, I think that could qualify as the single hardest fight in the game, based on how much you have to level and how limited your options are.
If you just had Brew in the party, I feel like it'd be better.
Yeah.
Like, having to do that without her?
He specifically unlocks right after you lose her.
Yep. Which is annoying.
No, it's hard. It's great. I love it. Not for sane people, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed my time. I chewed through it at a very casual pace. I beat every bonus boss the game has to offer. And just, I get so much more out of this combat system, and just, I love experiencing this game. It has more ideas in it in 94 than most games do today.
No, yeah, I'll straight up agree with that.
Like, if this released today, it would be considered wildly experimental.
Yeah. Like, it's so funny now. Just looking at this, looking at Undertale, and being like, yeah, that, I see now.
I get it. I see what you did. What run are you planning for Ninja?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is there different ones?
Yes, the gimmick is Undertale.
Okay. Interesting.
As treated through the lens of a stealth mission.
Oh, in that case, definitely pacifist, just because I feel like that's more...
Okay,
impressive as a stealth mission.
Got it. Don't free the prisoner.
Gotcha.
Like, that is the one big bullshit one that catches me off guard every time. I'm like, oh, right, I'm supposed to not save him. I see.
What happens if you do?
There are 8 unavoidable kills.
Oh. That's dumb.
It is. It's the one big detriment to the chapter where I have to go, no, this is the warning for if you're doing pacifist, I have to tell you this.
No, I appreciate that, thank you.
Also, demons do not count as kills, so.
Okay.
So you still can grind and get all of his skills, but don't kill people.
I will do my best.
Alright.
But yeah, play Live Alive, people, please.
Play Live Alive. You better finish the game so I can talk to you about those last 3 chapters.
Definitely will. No way I won't.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's video games, finally.
Yes!
Let's hit it with Future Sight.
Future Sight!
Let's see, first off, the month started with EVO, so let's go through all the EVO news.
Alrighty.
Dragon Ball FighterZ and Samurai Showdown finally getting rollback netcode for PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC.
Nice!
Yeah, congratulations, you've saved those games. They are the ones that needed it the absolute most desperately, and at this point, I think a lot of people who fell off of FighterZ in specific after like Season 1 or Season 2 are gonna come back and realize, oh shit, Janemba though.
Yeah, FighterZ in particular was like notorious for how badly it needed that, so it's good that it's finally getting in it.
Oh, Showdown desperately needed it, because that's a game where 3 touches kills you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So not being able to read properly is a death sentence to it. Like, the community solution for it was to use Parsec. So not having to do that is a step up. Continue wearing the L, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Why? Holy shit, new Fatal Fury / Garou game.
I don't know enough of the background of this. I know it's a big deal. I'm just unsure of, like, how big of a deal.
Garou was the last game that was purely Fatal Fury, and it was out in, like, I want to say 2000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Fatal Fury is the big 1v1 version of Capcom's SNK output. It's where Terry is actually from, as opposed to just being a guest in King of Fighters, but then he became a King of Fighters character. And Garou was really freaking good. It was the Tekken 3 of the series, where all the characters aged up and you got the new kids and Rock Howard. And Rock Howard is a sick character.
According to Maximilian Dude, I've found that every single silhouette can be seen as Rock Howard.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how amorphous he is like that.
You look at it and you see it, and then you get B. Jenny, and she's just a pirate lady. But she's like a Team Rocket pirate lady. I love her. So yeah, it's just a picture, but like, holy shit. If they leave this as sprite-based, this could be like the defining sprite-based fighter, because everything else has moved on from sprites, basically.
Yeah.
So, this could be real good shit. Team Samurai has been added to King of Fighters, including Haomaru, Nakaruru, and Darly Dagger.
I unfortunately don't know enough about the series to be excited, but hey, new characters.
Yeah, so those are two legacy picks, and then Darly Dagger, who is a newcomer, and Darlidagger, if you just want to Google that design, because it's really good.
Darly Dagger. That's some Monster Hunter looking armor right there.
Isn't it?
That is a Monster Hunter character.
Yeah, she's great. And then Bridget was added to Guilty Gear Strive, like, immediately. And that was great.
That was like day of, right?
I think it was day immediately after. And it's great to see that character. Great fan favorite character coming back there.
Nice. I do want to say this just because I was a little weirded out by the story at first, and I want to say this just in case other people were too, so I can educate them. Mm-hmm. Bridget's story is about, correct me if I'm wrong, she grew up in a place where twins that were the same gender were considered a curse and would be killed.
Correct.
And so her parents forced her to act like a girl.
Right. Biologically born as a male and was forced to act as a female.
Yeah. That weirded me out at first. Like, I grew up Mormon against my will, so that was just like, no, that's not okay. But, like, getting more into Bridget's story, it's more about, like, finding oneself, like, after she got away from that town.
Yes.
Just wanted to throw that out there, being like, it does still kind of bug me, because, like, it does kind of play into there's this weird conservative transphobic boogeyman narrative around trans people being like, oh, they're trying to influence and decide your children's gender themselves, which is ridiculous, but unfortunately it's effective when that kind of media is the only exposure some people have to the issue.
Yeah.
So it does kind of hurt seeing this and be like, oh, some people are gonna see that and it's gonna hurt.
It is, but on the other hand, Bridget's always been a character. Previously, her position was that she is male, but she takes pride in just who they are, mm-hmm. and isn't going to let that affect her. They are them, and that's all that matters to them. And it has since evolved into the character accepting themselves as female in spite of everything that came before, not because of the expectations of their village, but because that is what they feel inside. And figuring out how to justify that to oneself, figuring out how to come to terms with all the complex emotions inside of you, and just do what is best for you as a person, I think is great. I really love that, and I really love seeing that emerge, even more than just the representation itself, which is greatly appreciated, but just, hell yeah!
Yeah, I just think you need the full picture for that, and I just think it's unfortunate there's going to be a barrier to appreciate her story that many need to hear. Does that make sense?
No, I agree, but like I'm coming at this, and I agree from your perspective entirely, but I also think that Bridget represents the evolving conversation with gender that has come from their conception and their integration in Guilty Gear X, or XX, or whichever one integrated them, into the modern day. And seeing how that's evolved and allowing that to evolve their character and their understanding of themselves, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Really love that.
Also one of the best animated characters in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like the freaking yo stuff is just... I love the animation of walking the dog but like the metaphorical dog is actually getting away from her, so there's like stumbling and can't keep up with the yo-yo. That's hilarious. Yes. That's one of my favorite animations I've ever seen.
Also, there was just this sick Guilty Gear trailer celebrating that Strive sold 1 million.
God, yes! Why can't more games do that? I understand why, because it costs a lot of money, but like, just...
But Guilty Gear did it!
Yeah!
And they only sold 1 million copies, which is massive for them. But like, I'm sure a lot of people are going, only 1 million? It's like, yeah, it's a niche fighting game. Both of those things would usually prohibit you from selling 1 million.
But no, let's just have this sick music video trailer, just for the fun of it, just to celebrate. More of that in the industry everywhere, please.
Yeah.
I want to watch that again now, damn it.
So I love discovering new things in old games, just like that people never discovered. A couple years back, in an air review, someone said, oh yeah, if you hit Bald Bull when the cameraman does a flash, you'll always hit him and knock him down perfectly. And people are like, what? And then they discovered all this new tech for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Last month, people discovered a stage select and a 2-player mode in Super Punch-Out 28 years after its release.
That blows my mind.
This is accessible in every version of the game, including Super NES cartridges. It is because you have to do a certain button input with the second player controller. Odds are people would not try that very often, and this was gone through data mining. Because this is very clearly a debug feature. But yeah, Super Macho Man has secretly been playable for 28 years.
Wow, that's crazy. I love that.
And like, it's busted. Like, all the enemy boxers are way too good when they don't follow patterns. But it's so cool. And also very helpful for getting footage. Like, this is very helpful.
Yeah, it's a shame that didn't come out a little bit earlier for you.
That's still going. Like, I still get views from those videos. This is still helpful. If anything, this has actually put it back into the conversation.
True, yeah. That's a fair point.
Multiversus has hit 10 million active players before it is even released.
I mean, deserves it. It shows the power of a free-to-play model. Like, you get that into a lot of people's hands.
Yeah. Like, to put it in perspective, Donkey Kong Country, when it was released, sold 9 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the entire lifetime sales of the SNES Donkey Kong Country, the third best-selling game on that console that was bundled with the console. And this did it in, like, 2 weeks.
I mean, put it in more perspective, that's 10 Guilty Gear Strives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope this takes off. Like, this is... people might think this is an unpopular opinion, but this is a format that I'd really love to see Smash Brothers adopt moving forward. Like, imagine a Smash game that didn't have to just remake everything that they made, every iteration. Like, it was just a single game that they constantly evolved over years and years and years.
I feel like with every genre, there used to be a rule of 2, but now I would say there's a rule of 3 for a competitive multiplayer game. There's the big one, there's the alternative to it, and now there is the free one.
Yeah.
And that free one can actively kick the ass of the other two if it's done correctly. And I think that Multiversus and Project L are going to create a paradigm shift for fighting games in general.
Oh, I forgot about Project L, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for that game.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, congrats, Multiversus. I hope the success continues.
Embracer Group acquires limited run games and the works of Tolkien. And, like, holy shit, a lot of things. There's a lot of embracing going on.
It's the hug that strangled the world.
Yep, like, click on that and keep scrolling.
Let's see.
These were all simultaneous.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, Sing Tricks.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien. Tuxedo Labs. Tripwire Interactive. Retro Game Clays Heritage.
And it's like after already getting like Nordic, THQ,
Yep.
Gearbox.
Yep.
Dark Horse.
Yep.
Just, they're gonna start being like, you're gonna have to mention them in conversations. Be like we have Nintendo, we have Sony, we have Microsoft, we have Embracer.
Yep. I hope that they are less evil than a fictional company called Embracer Group would be. Like, tell me that is not the most evil company name in a fictional setting.
Oh no, yeah, it's just like, yeah, that is 100% like an evil cat-stroking CEO being like, yeah, we present ourselves as embracing, like it's a hug, it's a good thing.
Yes. Come into the embrace.
I am happy if it means more Tolkien games.
That is fair.
Some of those Lord of the Rings games are just so fantastic. The Two Towers and Return of the King hack and slashes are very heavy guilty pleasure.
Yeah. But you know who's also guilty?
Who would that be?
That would be Nintendo, who also has sex perverts working there.
Yeah, you know what? I've wanted to talk about this for a while. There is a systemic trend that you can see in these video game companies that makes it so I'm not even remotely surprised when I see this thing. That thing where you have to stay extremely tight-lipped about anything that you're working on. It was especially bad at Blizzard because you couldn't talk between different teams working there.
Right.
Just about what you were working on. And Nintendo has something fairly similar here. Just you have to stay very hush-hush about whatever you're working on. And it's unfortunately a very, again, systemic issue where that sort of environment makes it much easier for people to get away with these sorts of things.
Well, yeah.
Not even just limited to video games. This is
that
pretty
is true.
Heavy media.
But there's also the things like saying, hey, this Genshin Impact character that looks like a child, this is why it's okay for me to be attracted to them.
That is, yeah.
You could just say that out loud, right?
No,
you could just do that. It's video games. And people would have to be okay with that because, you have a red badge and that lets you go to the Christmas party. And that's how you get promotions.
Yeah, I wish I could say I'm surprised and shocked, but I was honestly kind of just waiting for okay, the other companies that are like this, something's going to snap at some point. I know it's going to snap at some point.
Yep.
And there it is. I
just feel like we give Nintendo a lot of shine on the show, and I feel like if we're going to be critical of everyone else, we have to admit, oh, that's also weird. They do the weird thing here, too. Right now, this is specifically the NOA office. We have not received any reports from the Japanese office, to clarify.
Yeah, Japanese culture is so different. Remember when we just casually heard that Konami had slaves?
Yeah.
That was just a news story that for some reason just completely went away.
Yeah, it happens.
It's unfortunate. It's hard to discuss the issue because I feel like to discuss these sort of things, you need to talk about what needs to improve. And the only thing I can really think of is to stop this trend of being nobody talk about what you work on. Keep that uptight sort of keep your secrets, no spoilers, which unfortunately is fueled partially by people not wanting spoilers. I'm just as guilty of that as anybody.
But it would be great if we all came together and created a harmonious union so that this sort of thing does not happen. What?
What? That's crazy talk. That would cause solutions. We can't have solutions in our modern society.
Thank you to everyone who's a game developer who's pushing for unions. You guys are doing great work. You've been abused for so many years, and you deserve to have the actual rights to protect you.
Exactly.
And stuff. There are some unions that are bad. This one will be good.
Hopefully.
Until it becomes bad, but that'll take a while. And it'll be better than right now, though. Until it becomes worse.
Oh, I hope not. I'd rather not see
But
this
you know what will also get worse? Not doing anything. Classic video game company Sunsoft is back, announcing Icky Unite, which is basically just Vampire Survivor, and a re-release of Gimmick. And it's doing it through a VTuber.
Beg pardon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
They invented their own VTuber just to announce things. He can't speak English that well, but he is very, very enthusiastic. I support him.
Yeah, sure. You know what? That's not what I was expecting when I heard VTuber. I kind of like this. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow kids. Sure.
He has the energy of, I need to update my look.
That's great.
Yeah, but Sunsoft made a bunch of great classic games. Journey to Silius, I believe. Were they the ones who made the Batman NES games? I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
But yeah. Great classic NES company. Sega announces film versions of Space Channel 5 and Comics Zone.
Neat.
Right? They will be live action, I believe. So, dampen that.
Yeah, okay. You just buzzkill, alright.
It's okay. Now get this, the plot of Space Channel 5 is that Ulala comes from the future to hire a fast food worker to help her save the future through their love of funny viral dances.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Hello, fellow kids.
That's it. these are great properties. They're not going to do them well.
No.
But, like, my heart is like, okay, who are they going to get to replace Space Michael Jackson?
Oh.
Like, I have to know. Because that character is integral to the plot of Space Channel 5. And his name is Space Michael.
Oh, That's a fantastic question that I don't have the answer to.
I just want to know, like, are they going to get Space Drake?
Oh, God.
Oh, look, it's Space Jack Black Hole.
Okay, no, actually, you know what? I'd love that. Do that. That one.
Oh, God, would Jack Black Hole be the villain?
I feel like he'd try to be. It'd be a Bowser situation.
Well, he is Bowser.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's probably why my brain went there. Just try to do the villainous things, but, like, you just kind of want him to be his friend.
Yeah. On the same note, Gravity Rush movie is announced at PlayStation Productions.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
I could see that being cool.
It's like they care about the IP, except making new games.
How does that...
Yeah, I'll know.
I guess different studios, people are intimidated by gravity effects, wanting to do more with it.
I guess.
Maybe there is one in production right now?
I don't know. But yeah, Gravity Rush is really cool. So, good for it. I know we're going to get just this influx of video game movies because of the success of Sonic 2, specifically.
Mm-hmm. Detective Pikachu, it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, and like, most of them will be bad, but like, I think it's funny seeing them try.
Yeah.
And like, the ones that'll stick are fun enough that I'm like, okay, it'll be worth it.
I mean, every now and then you get something that's good. And
yeah.
Maybe they will start showing people the way. Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah. Disgaea 7 is announced. I didn't know they were still making those.
I'm surprised there's that many.
I'm not. They were like churning them out. Like, they were up to 4 when the PS3 was live. So they've slowed that down. I know they've remade Disgaea 1 in like 4 different ways, but you know, this is a series that I played a ton in my teen years when that kind of anime humor was funny to me and like not everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was limited enough in its scope that it was interesting and new and counterculture in that sense.
Okay, yeah.
And I still really like Disgaea 3. I know that's the one that not a lot of people like, but I still really like it. Still holds a nice place in my heart. None of them are in my top 100 anymore. I think calling them cringe is very, very fair. The second printing game is called Dawn of Operation Panties, dude. It's okay. Good games, but like, also, if that made you recoil at all, yeah, no, that doesn't go away. That's not an isolated incident. But yeah, apparently, I think this is a Fuel Japan one, so nice that they're doing that finally. I liked the School and the Monster Mash more. Gamescom happened, and it showed the art of showing trailers with nothing, and the art of showing 3 seconds of gameplay in between cutscenes, so that you don't really get that the gameplay isn't very good.
That was an insane amount of sci-fi stuff.
I will admit,
I can't
so
remember.
much of this I just tuned out completely.
I mean, there wasn't much that stood out.
There were 2 games that stood out to me specifically, which was Lies of P, which is...
the Pinocchio thing, yeah.
That's
Pinocchio
just Bloodborne.
That looks cool, yeah.
Yeah, amazing aesthetic design for those. I love puppets. I just love the way that they move. Just that sort of janky incorrectness, and I feel like that brought into an action game is so cool and works so well. And then also what came out was Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that every now and then. Looks solid.
Looks fabulous. Like, I was like, oh, this looks like a really good action game that is struggling to run because of how pretty it is. And then I saw Wukong split into 7 shadow clones of himself. And I was like, oh, you're representing the mythology perfectly. You're actually giving me a playable incarnation of the ancient Chinese myth.
Yeah.
That's great. That's wish fulfillment. It'd be like if there were a Hercules game based on the actual trials of Heracles.
Oh, don't put me in that. Oh, gosh. Now I'm gonna...
No, that is that. But with Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is cool as hell. He eats peaches from the gods because he was pissed that he made them their stable boy. And that made him like 20 times immortal.
Nice.
They also showed some cutscene direction for it, where it's just a bunch of spider ladies talking about how they're prepping him to marry their mother. What I love about the cutscene direction for this is that it feels like a classic movie. it's shot all in one shot, and you just see the characters talking. And cinematic camera angles have been a thing since Metal Gear Solid. Very panning, not to say Metal Gear Solid invented cinema, which is true. However, it was introduced in gaming very solidly with Metal Gear Solid, and gaming has always had a very modern understanding of where to put the camera. We don't get a lot of that sort of 50s and 60s style of filmmaking where you just have it center and get to see the acting of the characters in like a still uninterrupted shot. And this is doing that, and like, it just makes me happy just noticing that.
Nice.
So I'm really happy for Black Myth Wukong. Did you have anything else from Gamescom other than like Morty not knowing how to yes and?
I do have a few things. I also just want to bring up real quick, just remembered this, because
when
Black Myth Wukong first came, like the first trailer came out, I was so excited for it. I looked it up. There's some nastiness around the CEO of that one, unfortunately. Just want people to know that. I believe ridiculing the presence of women in the games industry was something I read. This games industry, yay, I love being part of this.
Isn't it? I love video game. I hate video games.
And people wonder why people are prejudiced against gamers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, we kind of cultivated some of that ourselves. There were two other things from Gamescom. I just want to bring up this because my dad loves Dune. The idea of a Dune MMO. So like, I showed him the trailer, he was so happy.
Oh, nice.
Like being able to like ride a sandworm around a large environment, like for that alone, I might try that out.
Yeah.
There was the announced during the show, Kojima just came on and be like, hey, I'm doing a podcast. That's all.
That's going to be unlistenable. Like, do they realize how much their inane bullshit they're going to have to translate? As Kojima tells the story of how the anklets on his foot inspired him? My shoe, rather.
I can't. I don't know if actually, I am going to listen to that. I might get a little drunk beforehand just to make the process more true to form, but...
You're not going to make it through. You're going to pass out and miss like 20 things. And even if you sat through all of it, you'd be like, okay, I don't understand where your fascination with the Dallas Cowboys came in.
It'll at least be an experience.
Then Kojima's going to be like, yeah, and that's how chemtrails reminded me of the Aboriginal serpent from Australian myth.
Yes. Please. I want that word
because
for
you
word.
see, Australia has the word trail in it. I can write a Kojima game.
I feel like anybody can. You have to do it by accident, though. I don't know.
No, fuck it. We're going to make it. We're going to make Trails, the Australian adventure.
The first Trails-like game.
It's going to be the Trails
genre.
experience. Ignore the Trails series that already exists.
And then there was just one more Gamescom thing. Just because I love Age of Empires, would you look at that? There's more Age of Empires stuff. It's Forrest's turn this time.
Nice.
Jumping into, I think it's the Malians and the Ottomans, which I appreciate both because you don't see those sides of the world very much in video games in general.
Very interesting. I find it interesting too. Alrighty. We also have Masahiro Sakurai starting a YouTube channel about game design.
The best thing ever.
My days are numbered.
So much. Yeah, he's killed everybody else that makes game design channels, but like, oh my gosh.
That's me, though!
It's okay, just make a genre-defining franchise over the next 20 years, and you'll be able to compete.
I'm working on it! People aren't picking up on Joy Mech Fight yet. But yeah, he's given it the same production that he does a lot of the Smash character reveals. Just very, very cozy watches. He is the last person who gets to make a video on lag.
That is, I didn't think about it from that perspective, but yeah, that is very, very true.
But yeah, it's delightful. You're probably already subscribed if you're listening to this.
Yeah, and if you're not, like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Come on.
Do you not have Twitter? Good. Global PS5 increase in most major markets, except the US.
Now, I'm sorry, but I might be a little just lost in economics here. Aren't you supposed to only increase the price? Yeah, there's already a shortage. Like this...
Yeah, so they can get more, because demand's still there.
You greedy bastards.
But economy hard. Economy is hard, so Sony needs more money.
Gotta impress the shareholders.
Put the money in Daddy Sony's pocket. To be fair, I understand that it's a hard situation, just with the amount of tech shortage in general, due to the whole crypto boom. Thankfully Crash, but still how that's impacted tech companies irreparably for this. Like, this is understandable to me. It's roughly a $50 hike in every territory. Like, the currency is different, but it would be the rough equivalent of if we saw in the US as a $50 increase. But yeah, the economy sucks. Here's another reminder.
Lovely.
But you know what might not suck? Successors to Wild Arms and Shadow Hearts, releasing 2 simultaneous spiritual successor Kickstarters as large-scale Japanese RPGs. This is Armed Fantasia and Penny Blood.
Nice. I've heard... I know the reputations of both of them. Is this like... Does this have any involvement in like the people that originally created them, or is this like a fan project?
I believe it is original studio, same thing, similar to the Suikoden revival thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still cool.
Yeah. They are not interconnected in any way, aside from the fact that they are just working together for publicity. But yeah, these are great classic RPG franchises. I've heard great things about Wild Arms. I only got to play a little bit of Shadow Hearts, but it's really fun. Is a more intense version of like the Paper Mario hit the action command sort of timing. Mm-hmm. But in a more traditional JRPG.
I remember the final boss theme of that game is incredible.
Yeah.
Imbroglio.
Yes.
So much. The bells. I love those bells.
Oh my god, I think you're the first person I've talked to who I don't have to explain who Yuri Hyuga is. But yeah, please support them if you care to support them. Because more games like deserve to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, and that's it for the news.
Oh, we missed 2.
Okay.
Kimberly and Juri.
Oh, shit.
Street Fighter.
You're right, I skipped over that because it was so important to me. Like, literally. So Kimberly is great.
One of the coolest super moves.
Yeah. Great character, great evolution of Guy's fighting style. Like, this is a perfect generational rep for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Juri.
I can see what the target audience was very clearly.
You know that picture of The Simpsons where Homer is in the lesbian bar? That's me, but I'm dressed as a cool goth kid with a knife, and everyone around me is a foot. It is so hard just going, oh, I like this archetype of character. I have always liked this archetype of character. This is probably my favorite character design in Street Fighter. No, wait, why are you looking at me like that? No, it's legitimately not that. No, I know there's nothing I can tell you. No, shut up. No, she looks so good, though. Yes, it's from the ankles up. It is such an incredible design for her. She looks incredible. I'm so glad that she no longer has a negative edge gimmick. Like, she looks playable for me. And, like, I love that character archetype. I love the sort of masochistic character who is looking to break you down entirely. I think that's a great archetype for a fighting game character, and I think just in fiction, seeing a character who's able to break a person down to their core elements is one of my favorite kinds of characters. It's why people love the Joker. It's why people love Hannibal Lecter. And going, ooh, let's add this punk aesthetic that you also really like, and this spider aesthetic that you also really like. And now people are just going to be like, haha, feet though. And I'm like, well, fuck, this is my life now, isn't it?
Yep. Might as well embrace it.
No! No, I would if I could, but it does nothing for me.
I'm just messing with you.
Like, it does me no good to go, oh, she does her motorcycle barefoot? Oh, the calluses that must be on her feet. What if I rub them away? Nah! That does nothing for me.
It always amuses me when those sorts of things happen around something that was super popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like the copy pasting about Vaporeon.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for anybody that Vaporeon was their favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. If you're simultaneously a Vaporeon and Juri fan, Come here, dude. Let's have a hug. We'll get through this.
But would you be willing to hug them, though?
Yeah, because they're coming in through the solidarity. And if not, then they'll be slippery and will fall through my grip. That's the test. Yeah, they look fantastic. They look like great characters. The Juri's redesign is incredible. It's my favorite thing. It's a perversion of the Taekwondo outfit to be as loud as possible. I love that her hair sticks up now and that her motorcycle helmet also has points so she doesn't have to mess up or change her hair. It's so good aesthetically, and I get it, but that's not for me though, I swear.
I do think it's very telling about the strength of Street Fighter VI's character designs that everything has leaked, and it still feels like an exciting reveal to see the character designs in motion.
Yes, 100% on that. I'm so excited for the next reveals.
Same.
Okay, did I forget any other characters that I've thought about all month and somehow skipped?
I'm seeing something saying might be greatest joke character ever made.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. Neco Arc was released. Yeah. Neco Arc in Melty Blood. They're freaking amazing. The characters' moves work on a gacha system because Melty Blood is attached to Fate. So sometimes they'll just have bad moves and sometimes they'll draw a character from Fate and they will attack.
Nice.
They have a super where Neco Arc starts Twitch streaming and the UI starts blocking off the health bars and super meters, so everyone is blind.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
They are a nonsense rubbish character that plays with the very idea of the foundations of fighting games. They are horrible. They have an air dash where they just turn into paper and go, nyan. I love it. And it's just an annoying, shitty cat version of the main character. Did I forget any other characters?
No, you're good.
Okay,
you're good.
Okay.
You're free.
Okay. Games coming out this month. I have to scroll up to find it.
There's JoJo's Bizarre... Ugh, that kind of just melted together in my mouth. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R.
Yep.
Last of Us Part 1, which,
Yeah,
came
just
out
as
10
let you
years
know.
ago.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3. I've seen stuff. I had a funny moment. I had a friend showing me footage of Splatoon 3, asking me if I could see the difference. I was trying to bullshit my way through it, and he's like, "Yeah, but this is actually Splatoon 2. I'm just messing with you." I'm sorry, Splatoon fans. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of new things for it, but it looks like the same game. It's a little shinier.
I might hop in, but I think I want to hop into Xenoblade 3 more, because that game's selling itself hard to me. I'm very close.
I might poke it if there's I didn't poke the demo, but if there's a free test fire at some point.
Yeah.
Just see what's up, see what's new. It is one of those games that gives me motion sickness, so I can't play it for very long regardless.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's a reason for my dismissiveness, but I might try to tank through it if it looked more innovative.
Gotcha. We got Return to Monkey Island.
I'm glad it's coming out.
I am too. I'm not picking it up.
Yeah, me neither. It's just one of those things I'm happy it exists.
Yeah, Monkey Island is not even in my top 3 haha funny adventure game series. But if it's good, that'll be neat. I might pick it up when I know it's good.
Yeah.
Is Shovel Knight Dig this month?
I saw it might actually already be out.
Oh, okay.
September 23rd. Yeah, that is out this week.
Month.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Time. Words.
Time,
English
yes.
language.
I think Freedom Planet 2 is also coming out this month, so that's a follow-up to Freedom Planet 1, which was a great Sonic homage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember that one.
And then Valkyrie Elysium is coming out. So, mentioned that last month, so it's just there's your follow-up. It exists.
Wow, wasn't it just announced, though?
Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Huh. All right.
There's the future. I got Diddy Kong out, not in August, but I got it out.
You were close enough. It still counts.
Yes. I got it in time to talk about it. I personally really like it. I think it's fantastic. I hope the reception is good.
I think it will be. That's a charming thumbnail. That captures attention. That's what that's the first big step.
Oh god, Alter did such a great job on it. Like, I love her art in general, but just the way that she makes character expressions pop is so good, and exactly what I want from that.
Nice.
And just she went through the trouble of recreating the DKC2 background, which is DK Isle into Crocodile Isle as that background.
Oh, yo, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good.
She did such a great job. Please follow Alter Mentality on Twitter. Spelled just how it sounds. So I have that. Will I have a follow-up this month, my friend? It's okay if not. Like, I just can't make a promise. You can't.
No worry. I think I can promise that will be done.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, life has been frankly hard lately. Not gonna go into the details, but it's just some health issues with family members that's not been great to deal with, on top of like the job stuff and all that.
Yep.
Like, I'm probably going to be spending, you know what, I'm just going to be level with my audience here. I'm probably going to be spending the next several months solely working on designing for projects. There's going to be a great payoff for it later down the line.
I promise you.
Yes, but I'm working on it. Can I say what it's for? I feel like it's pretty obvious what it's for from what I've said before.
Wait, the big one or the little one?
The big one. No, the thing I'm working on right now.
Right now? Oh, yes, go for it.
Yes. DDD. King DDD, best character ever. Just talking about his portrayals and how he's evolved, which is obviously just such a fun story to go over.
I've dove through every bits of it that I could find. I read the DDD novel, so I could get bits from that in as well. Like, I think I'm as comprehensive as I can be as an English speaker.
Yeah. I'm going to try to do, like, really small, like, lightly edited, I'm calling them rambles. Like, probably by the time this is out, I'll have one on just Multiversus' roster and who I'd like to be on it. Just very... I had Mad Arts draw a, you know Charlie Day, the Pepe Silva meme?
Yes.
Just him in terms of big... I had him draw something like that for Multiversus' roster. That's gonna be kind of the vibe of these videos, just me talking endlessly.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so I'll have something on the channel, but it's gonna be a while before, like, a full, proper brainstorm.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm working on.
Very nice. Why do we get longer with all of these, even if we have less games?
I don't know.
Why can't we shut up?
It's weird.
I thought I even timed this out well.
It's the sleep vibes, man. I don't know.
We are rambling, I will admit. However, I might also have another video. I don't know. It'll be a follow-up to Diddy Kong. We'll see how good Diddy does. Yeah, that's me. Bonus stage.
Welcome to bonus stage.
I feel really bad about this bonus stage this time, because this is gonna be one that I think we can talk about for a while.
That's okay. That's fine. Mine has so many layers of spoilers, I can't talk about a damn thing about it.
Okay, good. Okay, it'll balance out. All right.
Yeah. So, what do you know about Nathan Fielder?
I have never heard the name before.
Have you heard of his show, Nathan for You?
That is ringing a bell? I've seen I've seen this guy. I've never watched the show.
Alright, so the conceit of Nathan for You is that Nathan Fielder goes around in sort of like one of those flip your business around sort of deals. But he does it in a way that is so esoteric and so off the wall that it's nearly unbelievable. Like, for example, he's like, oh, Best Buy is driving your business out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to offer $1 TVs at your electronics shop so that we can use Best Buy's price matching policy against them and purchase $1 TVs from them that you can then sell back. And to prevent people from purchasing your TVs, we will institute a strict tuxedo and tie dress code in the store. We will create a section for the TVs that has a tiny door that not all people can get through. And between the TVs and the tiny door will be a live alligator.
That's amazing.
You know, you get those sort of ridiculous concepts with Nathan being probably as Ben Stein as you can get. He's very low-key, he's very sort of monotone in his delivery, and it's like, you don't really understand if he's doing a bit or if he just has no personality in the world. He has a great way of undressing people just with his words and with his demeanor and with the sort of hope, like, they're on TV, they're naked and exposed, and he gets them to do and agree to some of the most insane shit, and he doesn't really play it for laughs. He just plays this like, no, I'm really helping you. And like, if he's wearing a mask, it never comes off. He's very much someone who is in tune with the social aspects of the world. The rehearsal is him with a budget, and it's frightening. I will say that this show is as close to comedy horror as I can imagine, because what happens in it is some of the most uncomfortable viewing I have ever seen that makes me question our foundations as a human being. It is also a comedy reality show.
Okay.
So the conceit of the show is that the opening sequence, which I'll just spoil, like the first 10 minutes, is that Nathan goes to a conversation with someone that he's trying to help. And his whole thing is that he will help coach you through a specific hard conversation or a life concept that you want to get through. Like, say you have to reveal a lie that's in you up to a friend for years. And then he realizes, or he reveals, that everything he has said has been scripted and rehearsed. He created an exact replica of the person that he is talking to's interior home, which he got by having two actors pretend to be repairmen and take pictures of his home so that he could recreate the set down to the most minute detail and rehearse with an actor every single possible branch in a dialogue tree. And he offers that service to these people.
You are selling me hard on this show.
That is the first layer of the show. It evolves through its 6-episode run, and oh my god, the depths that it gets to that I cannot reveal any more to you. It is the most uncomfortable viewing I have ever seen. I have been screaming, no, don't convert the fake child to Judaism against his fake mother's fake wishes. The places that it goes, the things that it does. Nathan has to learn what a keyblade is at one point. They do something that is so deeply uncomfortable as an actor that I go, oh god, no. But you understand it, and like, it is painful, and it feels like it is doing psychological damage to people. Like, I think that this show has actively caused harm, but it's the most fascinating thing to see all the pieces in motion. The lengths that he goes to create these fake realities, the scenarios that will be set up, the amount that he is not like a Jeff Probst Survivor host, sort of taking a backseat and watching all the chaos unfold, but the way that Nathan will take an active role and discover things about himself through the creation of the show, and get to say things like, it was really nice to own my own personal bar and run it that HBO was paying for. I have never been more exhausted. I have never had to pause an episode every 6 seconds so that I can just catch my breath and go, okay, no, okay, I feel anxious. Okay, let's continue. Am I even sure I was entertained? At some points, yes. At other points, I was very confused and concerned. But it is the most fascinating experience I've been through. That is Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal. I fell off the show on episode 1, and then I hit episode 2, and I'm like, and I cannot explain any more without spoiling the layers and levels that it goes to. So just trust me on this, my dude. It goes places.
I believe you already.
Thank you. Also, on your recommendation, I did watch The Boys through season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Victory.
That was very good. Homelander's actor is fantastic. I liked season 1 more than season 2.
Same. Most people are like that.
Season 2 was a bit uneven in places and got a bit cliched in some of its delivery. Like, the human moments it does really well, but when it has to do superhero sweeping stuff, I feel like not in action, but just in dialogue, I feel like it's lacking.
I can see that. Yeah, I actually even agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that I went through it. It was a very easy binge watch.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'm good now. Hit me.
There were a lot of things I could have brought to this. I started and watched a lot of different things. Caught up in Stranger Things.
Okay.
That was neat. Definitely understand why Running Up That Hill just caught fire and everyone was making covers of it. That was so deserved.
One day I'll watch Stranger Things.
I think it's worth it. It's too many characters that doesn't know what to deal with, but when it's good, it's great.
Okay.
I saw a Korean zombie series. I believe it was called All of Us Are Dead.
Okay.
That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Watched The Northman. Good movie. And on your recommendation, in accordance to the... No, it wasn't the first. It was the second Design Dorks Accord. Because the first one was Dragon Prince and Banjo. I have been reading One Piece. I'm about chapter 101, I think. I've hit triple digits.
Who's the villain currently?
Are
you past Arlong?
I'm definitely past Arlong.
Okay.
I think it was Navy Smokes guy.
Oh yeah, Smoker. Yeah.
Yeah. Kid ran into him with her ice cream, and she was all sad, and he was like all intimidating and stuff, and he was like, hey, go get 5 scoops next time, just gave her some coins. That was adorable.
Yes.
Great character.
Yes. I do have to ask you what you felt about the Arlong arc, because that's a big turning point for a lot of people.
Was not expecting it to get that dark that quickly. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is happy, this is fun, that's somebody's mom getting their face blown out. Okay, well, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people became lifetime fans at You Made My Navigator Cry.
Yeah, I was enjoying it before then, but before that was just like very much a bit of a junk food, just like, oh yeah, these are fun adventures, being like, I'm invested now. Okay,
no,
cool.
this is the series.
Excellent. And
Like,
yeah,
I won't say that
reading.
there aren't emotional stuff. Like, I feel like Sanji's backstory is fantastic, but...
Okay, it's good. I'm enjoying it a lot. But it's not what I'm bringing today, because I'm barely any way through it. I kind of feel like I'm cheating to bring this, because we bring it up all the time, and it is based on a video game. But I watched it again with my sisters, and an excellent documentary series was just released detailing the 6-year process into making the show. And frankly, I feel like Arcane deserves a proper deep dive discussion into why it's so freaking good.
Okay, cool. Silco, we're done.
Fair, but also.
Yeah, no, I know.
This is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, best looking shows. I mean, best in general, but best looking I want to talk about first.
Yes.
Gorgeous 3D style that's blended with 2D painting, but also drawing additional 2D frame-by-frame effects on top of the painting. It's almost kind of like what Skyward Sword was trying to go for, I feel. Just that painterly style, but done with so much more detail in a way that actually services the characters and their emotions they're feeling.
Definitely. I can definitely see how that is modeled. It does a great job with depth that, like, the Skyward Sword style does not. Like, you get a better sense of the lighting and the dynamicism of the lighting. I don't know if I'm saying words anymore, but who cares?
Yeah, but apparently they managed that by actually, like, the lighting here is, like, painted on. Like, watching the documentary series, the people that were talking about it, like, the figureheads they chose to do the documentary weren't even sure how the lighting artist did it. It was just wizardry.
Oh, that's great.
It's this hybrid art style that makes it one of the best looking things I've ever seen, and I think a huge part of that is because of the character faces. Like, you rarely see, like, animated shows that use their medium to enhance their characters' expressions in a way that's, like, actually human. Usually it's, like, really exaggerated, like, oh, their eyes get bulge up to, like, 3 times their size. It's something weird like that, but it's not, like, real, actually finer details in a face, right?
Mm-hmm.
This gets blurred away by the art style, but Arcane uses its unique presentation to not only portray, but enhance realistic facial expressions, and it does it so well. You can tell exactly what a character is thinking and feeling based on their expression alone. There's a lot of silent dialogue in this show, and, like, all of it is good.
It does eyes incredibly well. Like, as much as eyes are the portal to the soul in general, the way that they widen, the way that light hits them, the way that there are just general expressions with them, like the use of how droopy and sad they always are on Powder, and how that gets flipped on its head with her character development is so good.
Right? Crazy thing about eyes that I learned from that documentary, nothing in Arcane is perfectly round. It creates this really subconscious effect to it that's like everything's kind of imperfect. It makes the world feel more living, except for that little hex core sphere. It's the only thing that is perfectly round.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? It makes it feel so much more alien and magical with just this very simple design choice. I think that's so cool.
That's some good stuff.
More impressive with how detailed the facial expressions are. There's no motion capture in this show.
Really?
Yeah, none. Instead, a genuine effort was made to copy an actor onto the character they were voicing. Like sometimes even tweaking the character's design to mimic them a bit more closely and get a more believable performance. Because like with motion capture, you're able to capture like realistic motion, which Arcane isn't quite fully realistic. It's close, but like there's like superhuman moments and stuff like that.
Right, of course. So let me get this straight. Are you saying that they essentially took rotoscoping techniques and applied it to facial animation and then exaggerated it to better fit the universe?
From what it looked like, it seemed like they were like literally recording the actor in the booth and then like trying to like mimic the actions they would make to show there were like a lot of showcases of one I'm remembering right now is just Jinx stepping through a broken glass window, and you'd like have one of the animator guys actually like take a still showing himself walking through the animation and like trying to mimic what action she would make, and then just trying to mimic that as closely as possible.
That's
I don't
really
think there was
good.
any rotoscoping into it. I think it was just hard work and talent to try to like mimic what real human action looks like.
God damn.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Like every character here feels human. They act in human ways. They move like humans because that's what the reference was.
Yeah, but there's still that sort of sense that you get from comics or manga where individual actions are so well highlighted. You get that sense of punch and fluidity and just holding on things. Like, the animated series has hit stop, and it feels good.
Yeah. My brain's kind of just short-circuiting that because there's so much good to talk about here. I feel like it's that way because, like, yes, it's using humans as references, but everyone that they're referencing is an artist.
Yes.
Someone that's trying to highlight those specific motions. So you're almost getting hyper-humanity here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. It's an exaggeration of humanity, but it's through an earnest desire to bring it out in the best way possible. And it's like taking an actor's interpretation and then using it through the lens of a visual artist who is simultaneously working through the lens of the audio department and the voice actor in order to bring everything out and marrying it into one skeleton. And then doing that like 20 times over and then painting a world for them to live in. Indeed.
And they took so much time to make sure all of that was exactly as good as... There were some crazy statistics in that documentary. Apparently it took 3 years to find Jinx's actress.
I can believe that.
They knew they needed something perfect, so they waited until the perfect candidate came around, and, well, they found her.
Yeah.
What was her name? I think it's Ella Purnell, I think? That sounds right. Talent is jaw-dropping. It's really hard to portray someone as incredibly dangerous and insane, but also vulnerable and childish and, like, quickly shifting between those 2 points, but she nails it.
Yes.
Makes both sides feel perfectly believable.
What I like that she manages to do is that she allows it to build off of her previous character development. It doesn't feel like a switch has been flipped and Jinx now exists. It feels like these are further exaggerations of the character traits that she had previously and that her previous actress had portrayed.
Yeah.
And that's so freaking hard to do. It is so easy to just take the base of the character or base Jinx off of her in-game lines and go, well, full Harley Quinn with it.
I mean, yeah. But no, this feels like a very believable descent into... That's one of the best things about this show, is that it just showcases, well, whenever you're going into mental health in a media portrayal, there's a tendency that people tend to romanticize it in a way. Like, I'm talking about, they try to make it attractive or cute or going the other way and just making it curable or just not matter at all.
Yes.
This is just right in the sweet spot of being like, no, this is awful, but it's also a major part of who she is.
Yes. Yeah, it is a feeling of, I can help her. Oh, wait, no, I can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally Vi's character journey in the story.
What I love about this series is how interconnected all of its cast members are. Everyone gets to branch out and have a different connection with each other, so that when you hit those sections of what is essentially political intrigue that would be very, very dry in a lot of other contexts, you get that the point of views are based on each individual character's opinion and standing and relationship with every other character in the cast. It is so condensed and tight-knit and works so well and allows all the characters building off of each other that, frankly, I'm just surprised that they're able to have a cast of, 12 individual main characters?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, if you're counting, Heimdigger and whatnot.
I mean, you always count Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is a treasure.
Yeah.
Even some of the more tertiary characters, they take the time to make sure that you understand every single person that's here.
Yes.
They never make a decision that, oh, I don't know why they made it. Of course they made that decision. They're who they are. Just a really random example, but, what's his name? The corrupt cop, Marcus. Marcus is his name.
Yes.
They could have just made him just oh, yeah, that's the bad guy. Just cartoony, just yeah, he betrayed them for money, but then you have that, he gets a flashback, or a maybe dream of actually trying to blow up Silco and try finally do the right thing, but he just can't do it. He's got a daughter now, and he's not able to come to terms with the grave he's dug at himself, and it eventually gets him killed.
Yeah.
And that's the 15th most important character in the show?
100%. And then all of these disparate pieces are coming together to form what is, I would say, the crux of it emotionally, which is the result of Jinx. And just what that character ends up doing and where that character ends up. And they're allowed to see all of these experiences and whatnot, because Jinx does not feel like the main character of this story. It feels like a true ensemble cast, yet when everything comes together, you get to see the totality of everything that this series has been building up within Jinx and how it is tearing her apart.
Yes. And that final moment of just when everything snaps and I love that it's a cliffhanger. I know some people don't like that, but if you made that end a minute later, it ruins the moment, because it's on the audience's shoulders to just cope with the ramifications of what just happened.
Yes.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's a good show. It better win the fucking animation award for animation.
If it doesn't, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's not a bad part in the show. When we say it takes 6 years, and it almost didn't happen in that 6 years. It's crazy, them telling how many discussions they had to have with a CEO that this is costing hundreds of millions of dollars, but it would be worth it, and that actually, they actually managed to get through. Mm-hmm. That never happens.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that never happens. All that time was spent on music, making sure that every single bit of music that's playing in the moment will match whatever's going on. They made individual themes for every single character, and we'll just kind of lightly put touches of them anytime that character's in a scene. It's really cool hearing that isolated from everything else. Definitely. Sound. It's the kind of sound design in this show where the people just go out and just find random bits of machinery and be like, yeah, that kind of, if we pitch that up, that sounds like Zon.
Yeah.
I love sound design so much for that. Just finding out what caused what.
Yes.
The magic effects for the hex core is a reverbed wine glass, put your finger around a wine glass in that thing. Combined with a choir and then put through a Doppler effect.
That's really clever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love it so much. There's other smaller things, so much of the show is filmed from a first-person perspective. Mm-hmm. Just a small touch that you don't notice very often, but it makes you feel so much more immersed in the story than you might otherwise. Oh, I do remember one thing I just want to talk about from the documentary really quick.
Yes.
Do you remember a couple of years back, League of Legends made this K-pop music video sort of thing?
Yes, I do.
The KDA?
Yes.
Made by the same studio. That was kind of almost a proof of talent sort of thing that they can do Arcane proper.
I see.
And they showed just like a director's cut, just like 5 seconds of it. But when I say director's cut, it's actually them modeling themselves in. So picture a bunch of like 40-year-old men doing like animated K-pop stuff, and it's so great.
Oh, it's so much fun.
It's just it's such a good show. There's so many to find. Like the moment that Victor like starts running for the first time.
Yes.
Like at the end of like after he's tried to augment himself and seeing the effects of that. Mm-hmm. Symbolism of him not being able to keep up with a boat in his childhood, being able to outrun a real boat now, the music, the raw emotion, and then building that up into the desperation. Like, it always gives, like, the build-up to whatever payoff it is, because after that you seem, like, desperate, being like, okay, no, I'm going to augment myself completely now. I don't have any shipper anymore, I don't care, I just ran for the first time. Like, you always understand why a character is doing what they do.
Yes.
Just a masterclass of writing. Very small thing, but one I really appreciate. I love that Vi and Caitlyn actually have some defined musculature.
Yes.
It's such a small thing, but like you don't get that in most forms of media. Like if you have a girl character that's fighting people, it's always a very how do I put this? It's almost like they're modeling, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Oh my gosh. When they did the SNK Heroines game and had female Terry Bogard, and she had no muscles whatsoever. Like, no! That's like the epitome of showing, yes, this is female character design.
Yeah. And like, not even just like they have musculature, like they actually get the shit beaten out of them.
Right.
Like, it goes so far to actually show just like, I understand why society does this because it's an important part of empowerment, but you want to be able to show people going through struggles to make their triumphs feel more impactful. Like, you get that a lot with modern movies of being like, yeah, here's our strong female character. She just does it because she does it well. And like, yeah, but you need to have like the establishing things so you can root for them. Come on, this is writing.
Yeah.
Arcane does that and it does it in spades.
I'm not looking for like the sake of torture. Like I feel like the Tomb Raider games and the Tomb Raider Survivor series goes a little bit far, but like,
yeah,
good work on allowing there to be physicality with your characters. And just, like, they're allowed to exist in the physical plane, as opposed to just incidentally going in and out of it when necessary.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that they're able to do that in a show that has, like heavy body modification with, like, shimmer and stuff and still make it feel believable?
Yes.
I love that you can feel the difference between just, like, a shimmered person and one with hex tech. The fight with, like, Jace and Vi against the Shimmer Goons.
Yes.
Holy shit. Oh my god, man. That was so good. Like, any of the fights in general, for that matter. Like, I'm praising it like it's something monumental, but that's the entire series.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
I'm not having the best thing in the show. No, I'm having the same problem right now. It's like I want to praise it, but like
it's good. This thing it does is good. This other thing is also good.
Oh man, I want to talk about this bit of foreshadowing, just because it's one of the most clever things I've seen. Like,
okay.
You don't need to play League of Legends and know its lore to be able to appreciate this series in the slightest. You might even enjoy it more if you haven't played League of Legends.
Right.
But for those that have, I love what they are doing with Vander and what that means for the future of the series.
Yes. As someone who knows nothing of League of Legends lore, I can guess it very easily.
Do you know who Warwick is?
I have an inclination of who that is.
Copy image address, paste. This is a character named Warwick.
Yes.
Is in the League of Legends lore.
Ah, I get it.
Known as the Hound of Zaun.
I get it.
Coincidentally, is also Vander's name. And it's on shown hanging from Singe's thing. And just like, think about what that means for like the future of the series though. Because like now you have Vi and Jinx like violently opposed to each other. What could bring that back?
Dogs.
And just the dogs. Just imagine with how this has handled trauma and just bringing Vander back in this state. Just, oh my god, it's the kind of show that I'm not leaving it being like, no, it's already over. Like, I feel like season 1 ended at like such a strong point that I feel like it's just a complete package.
Yes.
It doesn't need anything more.
Yes.
But like what it's built up and what that can mean for the future is just, it's tantalizing. Do you know what Echo's powers are in game?
Relatively,
he
but
eventually
remind
gets,
me.
full-on time manipulation. He can rewind time. Mm-hmm. And, like, I want there to be a follow-up to his fight with with Jinx. And, like, try to get her to, like, open up in some way. And, like, try to have a real heart-to-heart. Then have him, like, rewind time because he has to fight her or something like that.
Oh.
There's oh my gosh. There's so many possibilities and I love all of them.
This show is very good.
It is one of the best animated shows I've ever seen. And I'd probably call it the best video game adaptation. Not a high bar, but it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, like, what's my competition? The Ace Attorney movie, and this blows past it.
Yeah, watch Arcane, if you haven't. I don't know how you're watching this show still, and haven't at least poked at it, but like...
do that thing.
It is the Design Dorks homework assignment.
Yes, also One Piece.
I'm feeling good. I just wanted to, like, really gush about this properly once, because it deserves it.
Fair.
What's your favorite moment from the show? Just to wrap it up. I'm just curious.
Oh, easy. The reveal when they take the thing off the table and it's like, oh, the dinner's served. That one moment is perfect, legitimately. Otherwise, Silco at the fountain.
Oh yes, I was gonna say something else, but Silco at the fountain. Just that moment when you're like, oh yeah, here's the villain, and being like, oh shit, even he's growing.
Actual perfect scene.
Yeah, straight up. Like having me able to like relate, being like, he didn't even haggle, and just like, all the callbacks from all sorts of things, and just, oh my gosh. I love how in that dinner is served scene, Vi's memory for just a split second of Caitlyn is actually really romanticized.
Yes. Like
her lips are more pursed, her eyes are wider. It's just, oh, like, that was like for 2 frames. But like, no, it's, I love that romance so much. I can't wait to see how that grows.
It's really good.
It's so solid. Like, when I was talking earlier about barriers for entry for people to understand stories, this is like just nailing how, like, yeah, you have to come to terms with your prejudices and get through them because this is adorable and you have to respect that. I feel like it's the best kind of representation when you actually, like, it's just good.
Yes.
I wish I could word this better.
No, good thing good. Let me emphasize it again. Good thing real good.
Yeah. I love this show. Shall we wrap up with some comments?
Please.
I want to grab this first because the topic is fascinating to me. I just feel like it's a really good discussion.
All right.
From Luke. Something that's been on Luke's mind that he would like us to hear our thoughts on. Is there a level of skill at video games one needs before they can properly discuss a game's design? They've thought about how things like gauging difficulty or understanding complex movements might be harder for a casual or less seasoned player, but like, how does that come across?
No. You don't need that. What you need is a certain level of articulation. Because if you are fully able to convey why you don't like something or what gates you from enjoying a game, then that is just as valid as someone who has played thousands of hours of their favorite game and can only just say, it is good, why don't you understand it, idiot? It's the greatest game of all time.
I agree 100%. Articulation is really the key to any sort of feedback on anything. Mm-hmm. I go so far as to argue it's one of the most important skills you need to have when discussing, well, anything online for that matter.
Yeah.
If you can put your thoughts to words in a way that people understand, you can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's specific elements that you don't quite grasp, but what you do grasp has value. Like, video games aren't designed for, well, some video games are designed for a specific skill group, but like, video games as a medium are not just designed for any one particular kind of person.
Yeah, to give an example from my personal life, do you remember when that guy with the glasses was big? The online thing with the Nostalgia Critic?
Memories, no,
okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. So, at that time, they had a video game offshoot site called Blistered Thumbs, and they were looking for reviewers and whatnot. And what I submitted as my review was a review of Shadow of the Colossus. And I rated it very, very low because I did not finish the game. Because there were major control issues with it that I had, and major issues with the camera that prevented me from enjoying the game. And And then I looked up, for the sake of the review, the ending, and I went, this is poignant, this is a beautiful idea and a beautiful story, but I cannot physically enjoy it because of these factors. And this was early 2010, so I was slammed in comments for writing something like that. How can you possibly have an opinion on a game that you haven't finished? You don't understand it. This isn't art. This is what we're using so that Roger Ebert will notice us. What are you doing? And yet I got fairly far in the process because I was able to articulate it well, and I was able to allow people to come to a perspective that they did not have before on the game, and how central a certain mechanic, in this case the camera, was to someone's enjoyment of the game. And I don't think that many people will argue that Shadow of the Colossus is a fantastic game. I think I'm in a drastic minority in that case. There are a lot of games in the world that I don't finish that people adore, and I have weird-ass opinions on. But it's the way that you're able to say it, the way that a game is able to speak to you, and then you are able to relay that to everyone else. That is the core of video game criticism that I feel a lot of people ignore because it's much easier to just summarize a game's plot.
Yeah. You need a good deal of nuance to like have proper feedback, and clickbait is just so much more successful. Mm-hmm. It's so annoying how the internet literally encourages a lack of nuance.
Yes.
But hey, you don't need to be good at games. You just gotta be able to put your thoughts to words.
Yes.
Let's grab Yogg's comments.
Okay.
Crash and Smash. Love Crash and Smash. Subscribe to Crash and Smash. He makes our music. And it's great.
I think he's also a top-rated Tom and Jerry.
It's funny because the comment is partially about Tom and Jerry, just talking about how he feels the same way about Tom and Jerry the way that you do Popeye.
God, I love Popeye.
But the question is completely not for give me idea purposes. What are some of your favorite game original soundtracks, or namely some specific songs in video games? And under that, he says, why will Pyrr say Fear Factory from Donkey Kong Country 1 is one of his answers to the previous question?
Is Fear Factory my favorite song in Donkey Kong Country 1? I don't know. I really love Funky's Fugue, because it's just a Killer Instinct song that they threw in there, and it's so unfitting, but it's so good. I kind of love that one. I don't know. I think getting older, I think that Life in the Mines has ended up as my favorite Donkey Kong Country 1 song. Just nice, chilling refrain to it.
Nice.
But as for actual favorite songs, my go-to has always been Umi and Echo When They Cry, because that is a visual novel in the purest sense of the word until you reach like hour 90 of it, and the art is intentionally terrible because the artist wanted to prove that he could create something beautiful and meaningful even though he can't draw a hand to save his life. Instead, they have some of the most beautiful, beautiful songs that I can't play on the podcast because they will get copyright stricken because they're owned by a piano artist named Dai. But just to give, it's a track called Hope. And just the way that it unfolds, the way that you are sucked in and immersed, I'll link you it right now. And just the feeling of it and the way that it marries with the words and whatever soundscape that you're in, and the way that it's able to build on itself and have a story. Songs that tell a story through their movement, through their execution, are some of the most valuable to me. And Umineko is just a soundtrack that's full of that.
Oh, this is delightful.
Yeah, I can't express anything more that's just truly a magical track for me. Otherwise, things that go with a certain vibe with music, Okami is obviously a very, very good one. The Persona soundtracks get a lot of really deserved praise for how strongly they commit to their theme. Mad World as well has a great hip-hop rap soundtrack. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse fucking loves Kirby music so much.
Kirby just in general.
Well, yeah, but I want to call out Rainbow Curse specifically, because it didn't have to, it really didn't, but it is so good.
For a couple of mine, sorry, I'm listening to the Hope song.
Yeah. No, that's totally okay.
I have heavily nostalgic goggles, but Orc 2 and Terran 2 from Warcraft 2 and StarCraft specifically are extremely solid songs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like in an RTS game, you really want music that makes you feel like you are commanding whatever faction you are commanding.
Yes.
Which StarCraft has always been great at. But Orc 2 and Warcraft in particular, just goddamn, that song hits hard. For a more personal pick, something called Los's Song in Divinity Original Sin 2. Partially for the story behind it, Los is a bard companion that you have that cannot sing due to a creature that's possessing her. Easily the best companion that you have in the game. Like, absolutely adorable character.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, after a very long journey, you're able to fight and kill this creature that's been possessing her. And your reward for doing so is that she'll, like, cheekily come up to you and say, "So hey, it's gone. Would you like to hear a song?"
Oh.
And she sings this song. And it is hands down the best reward for any accomplishment I've ever gotten in a video game.
Oh, I can believe that. Definitely. Disco Elysium does something very similar, and it's really strong.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta finish that. We gotta talk about it.
I'll do my best. There's a lot of things that you recommend to me that I need to finish. And they
Yeah.
kind of clump together.
They're all real good. You should stop having opinions and just do the ones that I want you to do.
Any others? Despite how bad the games may be, Sonic music will always be fun.
Yep, absolutely. Big shoutouts to the Saturn version of the Sonic 3D Blast soundtrack, just because it goes for a totally different vibe that's almost more Donkey Kong Country-esque than anything else. And it's just, like, dreamlike, really.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Just really good stuff there.
That is very Donkey Kong.
Speaking of Donkey Kong, Lagoon Promenade from Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure, which is
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Yep.
That's so good.
Just that remix.
Where are the remakes? I'm not sure. Not sure anymore. Second guessing myself.
Oh, and Katamari Damacy in general. Its soundtrack is so beautiful. Cherry Blossom Color Season, Lonely Rolling Star, those are tracks with such life and such passion put behind them.
Shout out to Rayman 3. I don't know what's possessed them to be like, you know what, let's just put 8 hours of music into this game.
That's fair.
They did, and it's amazing. Like, I will always use Curious Glowbox as my outro music because it's one of the most calming songs I've ever heard. We could probably talk about this for a while.
Oh yeah, I could go on.
Yeah, video game music's great.
It is.
We'll give more recommendations if asked.
Gladly.
Let's see. This was a fun comment from Super Dragonite 2172. What is your favorite game from before you got into video games?
I can't answer this question because I don't remember a time where I was not into video games. Like, my mom owned a Super Nintendo when I was born. So, like, I have not known a world where Donkey Kong Country was not a part of it.
Hold on. I misread this properly. Let me explain the way they explain it.
Okay.
So, I'm just going to read their explanation. Dragonite here grew up with Nintendo handhelds and PC games. The series that left most impact on them as a kid was Pokemon, pretty obvious for the namesake. But as they've gotten older and looked more into games of old, it keeps going back to classic Doom. Never would have been able to play this game growing up for obvious reasons, but going back to it reveals a timelessness to its gameplay loop. So we're talking more about games that came before you were into games. Like, you missed the nostalgia train, but you still went back to it and loved it.
Oh, cool. There's this little game called Live Alive. Also, if you don't know this one, there's another called Joy Mech Fight.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that whole era of SNES RPGs and PlayStation 1 RPGs in general, Final Fantasy VII, Suikoden 2, Metal Gear Solid is probably the big one of going back for me. Because I didn't play that till I was 13, and by that point, the game was... No, I played when I was 14. So yeah, 10 years old when I was 14. And that's a really good game. It held up incredibly well. Loved that game. Immersed me more than the games that I grew up with, and I didn't expect that because, haha, old game, though.
I definitely feel that. Hilariously for me, most of Nintendo's library falls into that category for me. Because I didn't have a video game console at all until I was, I think, like 9. So I completely missed the N64 era altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Just going back to Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask would probably be the top of that list for obvious reasons. It's Majora's Mask.
Majora I also missed out on, so that could count.
I'm trying to think of any, like, fit more of the vibe of this. You know what? The entire Metroid series, actually. Easy. Like, I did not get into Metroid until... my first one was the Metroid Prime trilogy on Wii.
My first one was Prime 2. I liked the multiplayer.
Fusion. Getting Fusion, getting the entire Prime trilogy, getting... Eventually... Ironically, Super was the one I enjoyed the least out of all those.
I don't like how you jump in Super.
Right? It's so weird.
Oh god, that and Aquarius or whatever the underwater section is really dampens my love of that game.
But Zero Mission's great.
Zero Mission's amazing.
Great. There really aren't very many Metroid games. I'm trying to list off more, but that's really just Prime Trilogy, Fusion, Zero Mission. Those are the 5 for me.
Yeah. The only other ones are the old ones and Super.
Actually, technically, the Pokemon games would be on that for me too. I always grew up with the cartoons, but I didn't get to an actual game until I owned a 3DS.
Oh, wow.
Never had a handheld. Well, that's not true. I may have emulated Leaf Green, but that was only like a year or two before.
Okay.
I want to tell this story real quick. I accidentally erased a cousin's save file on Emerald. That was my introduction to Trico.
Oh.
I am a terrible person.
Oh, yes, you are.
I don't think they were very far in the game, so it wasn't that bad.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's not bad.
It was still... Oops.
No, my cousin owned Pokemon Blue before me, and he got Charmander and then just immediately turned his game off to tell his mom. And me, knowing type matchups from Pokemon books, took it, and I got Squirtle for him instead. I was like, here, I fixed your opinion. Because I'm like, Brock is going to be really hard.
Yep.
Speaking as someone who has never played the game before, and is also like 5... And then I think 2 years later, he showed me his level 100 Blastoise and went, "You were right, thanks."
Ha! Nice. Alright, let's move on to one very small one from Tom Rom. Just asking, favorite fan game?
Yeah, Sonic Robo Blast 2. Next question.
AM2R for me, but like...
Yeah, AM2R is second.
There's a lot of good ones out there, but like, it's so easy to just grab, like, yeah, those ones, that's best.
Yeah. Like, fan gaming is a great community, but, like, those ones, though.
Yeah, for sure. From Travis Nakahira, what would you say is a kind of comfort food content for you? That can be games, movies, TV shows, or even YouTube videos, something you could go back to and have a nice, pleasant time.
Okay, so I got this vibe because, like, you know the Quentin Reviews things where he just does, like, 8 hours of Victorious?
Yes.
So that is nothing, but like, it's the only content where I just stop thinking and consume it. It's somehow tricking me just enough into being able to consume episode summaries, into really enjoying it and seeing someone go so passionately in depth with it. I think it tricks me in the same way that reality TV and like food shows trick other people. Like, that's not to disparage the content, but it's like one of the few times where I just realize I'm not overthinking something.
Yeah, it's kind of just a brain calmer.
Yeah.
I get you, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a bit of a... Like, when people think comfort food content, I feel like that should be something that you turn to just feel better, which, like, for most things that I would, like, praise their quality, I want to pay attention to them, and, like, which inevitably leads to, like, analyzing and stuff like that, which is fun, but, like... To get really comfortable with it,
Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby.
Okay, yeah.
That's an obvious answer.
Yeah.
But I'll sometimes go to there's a channel called Soviet Womble. It's just gameplay highlights with just a bunch of friends dicking around and just making each other's lives miserable. Mm-hmm. It's just fun. I enjoy laughing. And my brain can kind of just shut down and just be like, ha, they did something funny. There we go.
Yeah.
Nature documentaries. That's a comfort food for me. Sometimes going outside, but it's way too hot right now to do that. So it's a close second. Just being around animals in general.
I could definitely feel that.
Yeah, it just kind of shuts down the brain and just being like, oh, like, look at this little animal. And just kind of like wondering about how they live their life. And that's all you really need for me.
I really like looking at video game music and looking for those who cover it with a lot of organic instruments. Like the channel PPF covers a lot of Banjo-Kazooie songs while showing multiple different instruments. And just, I don't know, something about the realness of seeing every single part of what goes into a song and the organic way that it goes about it matters so much to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, anytime that someone uses a instrument, like if someone uses like sandpaper or a brush or like the back of a pail to make a sound.
Yes.
Just that sort of thing is just always so... that will always be comforting to me.
I too like Kirby 64's factory level. That engine will never start.
Yeah, I would call that level comforting, but...
I mean, no, it's not. It's the slightest thing from that, but like, I will always love the music. Let's grab one more. Let's grab a few longer comments today. Just something simple. From Camp the MVP, we talked about Multiversus earlier. Are there any characters you want for it?
Shit, that's a big... I'm gonna have to think on that one.
I have a few. Like, I've thankfully scripted out a video for this, so I've got a couple just waiting for me. Alright, so, number one. Well, not number one, I've got a bunch of them. But, you know how the Iron Giant is kind of a continuation of his story?
Mm-hmm.
I would really love for HAL 9000 to have somehow built himself a body and just use that to fulfill his purpose of not letting anybody learn his mission. Just that soft-spoken robot from 2001 A Space Odyssey and just some sort of death robot.
Oh, fuck, Warner owns JoJo. That one.
There you go. I want Gollum. Just because it's Gollum.
Oh shit, they own the mask? Him!
There you go.
Just him. That's the one.
There's a good chance of it. Let's see. Audrey 2, Little Shop of Horrors.
That's a good one. I'd love a Venture Brothers character. Could be Brock Sampson, could be the Monarch. Just their voices in this game, please.
Nice. You know how Velma makes people's heads grow bigger?
Yes.
I want Luna Lovegood to make people's heads smaller. That is the extent of the idea, but it's really appealing to me.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Dick Dastardly?
Yes.
That's the end of the thought. I want to say Samurai Jack, but like I don't think that he translates very interestingly.
You do Aku.
Yeah, but Mako's passed away.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and like I enjoyed his replacement voice. It was very well done, but like there are certain things I want. Like if I wanted Iroh in a fighting game, like
yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah. I feel that.
As much as I adore Aku,
I want Bill and Ted.
I would want Death.
They put all three in. I can see them like summoning the phone booth down for like a summon, and just a random figure from history comes out to help you fight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that'd be funny.
Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, Multiversus is the kind of game that I'm not... Like, I could keep listing off ideas, like I really want Wile E. Coyote, I want the Animaniacs, but like, the 2v2 design is honestly more important to me. Like, I'll just be happy to see how that design space evolves.
I still need the character that I need to latch onto because I don't have one that I'm like, yes, you forever right now.
Oh, you poor bastard, I have two.
I still need my hook. I like Iron Giant a whole lot. That's a great sell. But like, when you put the mask in?
That's your tipping point. I respect it.
When you put Johnny Bravo in?
I think he was data mined.
Well, when he gets
in...
Legit
possibility.
When he gets in, when you get the big guy from Time Squad in?
Yes. Just all of the above.
You fucking Dio Brando in?
You know they have LeBron James just as LeBron James?
Yes.
What if they put in just a wrestler?
I don't think they own any wrestlers. I think WWE owns WWE, but...
I mean, third parties are available. They said they'll do them.
Well, that's actually possible now that the evil has been defeated and Vince has been expunged. You put in Asuka. That'd be great.
A lot of possibilities. It's hard to narrow down. So like, there's a few obvious ones, but like, yeah, it's a good game. I just want things. Never mind. I want Hagrid with a PS1 Hagrid skin.
Oh, you get so many people so mad that they couldn't finish that battle pass. Oh, he gets so many angry buys. Alright, and that should do her.
Alrighty, thank you for watching this or listening if you were on Spotify.
Yes.
Appreciate it immensely.
Thank you much. Please make sure to ding the dong like the thing, except give us money. I don't know how you do that, but give us money.
Yeah. If you want your comments talked about, just use the hashtag DDG comments. Probably see a few examples of that in the comments. Just makes it easier to find them.
Please stay in the YouTubes. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to sleep now.
Yes. Play Live Alive. Goodbye.
Play Live Alive.